I'm in the DM seat.
How's it feel?
For the first time since he's like...
Do you feel the imprint of multiple butt cheeks?
Well, it's weird.
The first time since you've been here.
Yeah.
Because it's weird because this seat is loud.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I was using it to build Lego and I kind of fucked it up.
I'm gonna probably need like a little.
I've got like 2 more of those. It's fine. We can.
I also sat very awkwardly in that chair. That probably
So
fucked it
have
up.
I.
I'm really low to the ground.
Back when I wasn't so fat, I used to be able to put my leg up on the arm. I used to sit in all weird, like a Skyrim king.
Yeah.
Is on your phone?
Yeah.
No.
So
give y'all a ball with my answer.
What?
I said give Yarrow Balgriff my answer.
I'm not actually DMing a set. I'm not actually DMing a session right now. I'm just gonna do a recap of everything that's happened in Voros that's important.
A recap?
Or at
It's
least everything I can remember, just so if you want to remember some plot point, you might not have to watch the whole fucking series to find the spot for it.
But watch it anyways because we need the views.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole 2 of you.
Alright, informal Voros recap. So, for those who have already seen season 1 or 2, you might not need to watch this. Whoever's watching this. If you want to watch it, go ahead. So, Voros My World was made in 2016 when I first got the D&D 5th edition books.
Old.
I was in college at the time. So, Voros started out as a one-shot originally. A town in, what?
Just giving you a thumbs up.
Okay. The first town I ever made in Voros was a little hamlet called Bertle. It still exists to this day. In I believe it's Kalendar or the Bloodmoor. I can't remember where exactly I put it. It's in the map somewhere. I got the map right here. It's in Kalendar. So it started as one shot in a little town hamlet called Bertle. I wanted to run a little one shot. And Kaleb decided to play a character known as Adagio, who was a tiefling bard. And then Derrick joined in with a gnome sorcerer named Smelting Ball. Dirt Murphy Smelting Ball, rather.
Wait.
I would love, like, if you're editing this, that you could have, like, pictures sliding and fading in, and, like, it's Adagio just doing the Kubrick stand.
That's later. That's later.
Yeah, sorry.
We didn't have art for you back then, or any like idea of what you would look like.
I want to see a poorly drawn picture of.
We
Like,
did. It was just
literally-
the art that we used in season 2, but you photoshopped it purple.
Well, that wasn't season 2. This is before season 1 even started. So this is completely unrecorded.
Oh yeah, because we
Just,
were
it just
recording
makes
it.
me
Yeah.
think it's like when you say a smelting ball, you just have a picture floating over of a poorly drawn picture of smelting ball fireballing that cart. It just like fades in, fades out.
And Smelting Ball, war crime.
We're getting to that.
I,
we'll get to the war crimes.
I quite literally based Koresh a little bit off of Cade 6. Because that was around when D2 year
Well, okay.
started.
Let him finish.
I haven't even got to the intro yet.
Yeah.
So, started as one shot in a little town called Bertle. The idea of the one shot was that giant spiders were infesting this old wizard's tower that was converted into a brewery when the wizard left. Some giant spiders were infesting that tower and were drinking leftover potions from the wizard tower when it was owned by a wizard that was left in the brewery's cellars. The potions got tumbled over somehow, and the spiders were drinking that potion or lapped it up on the ground, and they started becoming fire spiders, and that was basically the whole thing. Adagio was able to find a family of rats in the cellar that were also vying for or trying to stay alive in this fire spider dungeon. You befriended one of the rats with animals that it was scared it wanted to go somewhere far away, even though it was scared to leave its family. You convinced it that it was safe with you, and you gained a pet named Buttercup. What's up?
I'm making jokes at Caleb's expense.
Okay. So that was the one shot. It ended there. And then I think a few months went by or something, and then
Was I not there for that? Was I working?
No, you were not there for that.
Yeah, you were there.
You said you didn't want to.
And I don't know what the backstory of you guys being there was, either taking a job in the local area, because I know Adagio's backstory specifically was you were like those Amish kids that go out and experience the world, and then when they come, they're expected to not like it and come back. because they're sheltered.
Yeah, I liked it.
But Adagio ended up liking it, liking all the booze and hookers, and he never went back
God,
to.
addicted to the life.
Even though he stayed loyal and faithful to one woman throughout the entirety of season 1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The most
And
monogamous
only had
bard.
sex with her once.
Yeah.
Twice?
Twice. Oh!
The
And,
most monogamous
That's a
bard.
100% increase, baby. Don't forget that. Don't
Addicted
forget
to
that.
the booze and sex, yeah.
And you
This-
never went
this
back
is
to
before it
your
was recorded.
you never went back to your tribe.
Nope.
At least like at this point, you have.
Nope, I got slingshot from one adventure to another.
Yeah.
You abandoned your
And
tribe!
Smelting Ball's backstory for being there in that one-off game was you were from a town of rock gnomes in near some hills in the woods that were lived underground, and
They're also very sheltered.
you're also very sheltered. You guys are both two peas in a pod in that sense, and you were cursed with some magic that was wild and uncontrollable.
It was basically the magic man said, "Here's a gift." It turned out to be a curse and a gift.
And the magic man later revealed to be a
Magic
demon.
Yep.
Oh.
A goat
Like, hey, if I
demon.
give you this magic, you
called
can just
Arglith.
leave this place and you won't have to deal with it anymore.
Yeah. So, and if you were, and felt Smelting Ball was frustrated with his life in that
Mm-hmm.
sheltered location. So that one shot happens. Things go fine. You get a little pet. You get
For your sister.
You get a. And you get I think you got some coin for it. I can't remember what the reward was.
I got some potions of fire breathing.
Yeah, you're able to just take the potions because they were being a nuisance to because they were creating fire spiders. So, a few months later, I wrote the first inklings of a campaign. The Voros campaign starts, and set up in my homebrew nation of Voros that I cobbled together after a while, after expanding from the little town of Bertle to making a whole nation, island nation, or continent even. I might be repeating myself from the very first episode 0 we did. I think some of this stuff are written down, but I'm gonna keep going after that. After we stopped there and played, because we're way past that now. So basically, adventurers were given a task by the Zerosos Council of the Cantress region, which is the central region of Voros. The Zerosos Council is basically the government, the Tetrarchy, the four overarching archmages that rule over Voros. The task was to find a magical gemstone and an ancient teleportation gate created by what was later revealed to be Dragonborn precursors thousands of years ago. The magical gemstone in question was a ruby. The Dragonborn called this place home and made such devices as teleportation magic and such things like that. The council wanted brave travelers to seek out, activate, and use these portals as a way to travel between the regions very quickly, which the government can then monetize and circulate some coin, and it becomes an economic venture for the government to do so. The destination was the newly resettled island chain region of Cathacia in the southwest. The party, along with a three-person group of other adventurers, also came with them. They were tasked with finding the Virakai gem and gate in the Virakai region, which is a desert region. That other group was a half-orc named Abraxas, a human named Dempsey Stormer, and a tiefling named Terra. They all went by airship from Zerosos' floating islands to the closest airship port in Larka, which actually isn't that much of a distance, just cut a little bit of time off of their journey. There's no airport anywhere past that towards Cathacia for the airships to land, so they have to trek the rest on foot or by mount. So the party then had to travel through the Varakai Desert of the Scorched Sands with a guide named Salazar Al-Khan.
It's my uncle.
A Nachma tribesman of Starseers that act as guides through the sands to those who don't know the way to where they're going. Before the group gets to the desert proper, a warforged was found with arrows pinning his body to a tree on the side of the road, just off of the move. Small combat with some gnolls ensued, awakening the warforged known as Koresh in the process.
This is the universe where I was dispatched.
Yeah.
Where I was actually killed.
So, after traveling to Eremos, the capital of Voros, a city built into the underground, basically, with a giant hole
I remember
at the
that.
top. It's basically like a
Budapau.
Yeah.
or like ice cream cone in the ground, and that's the city. Because it's cooler down there, because heat rises. So the three, Abraxas, Dempsey, and Terra, all split off from the main group at this point and to do their own quest given by the government to find the Zerosos gem and gate. The
Zerosos gem?
the Varukai
Right. Yeah.
gem and gate. And you guys were looking for the ruby in Cathacia as well as the gate there. So our party traveled to from Eremos to Serval, the last bastion on mainland Voros of the civilization before you get to Cathacia, the island chain. I should say, before they actually got there, you got your rapier. It got turned into a masterwork rapier from a man named Harville Shatterstone.
Yep.
A hill dwarf that lives in Eremos who makes immaculate smith tools and armor and weapons. I believe in my notes it said Koresh helped you make it, which is weird because I don't remember that, but sure.
Yeah. He was the forge.
You also found out a lot of Warforged live in Eremos, and they mine out deeper and deeper and deeper to make more room for housing and businesses and plazas and such for the city of Eremos. And they don't tire as easily. They're not humans in that sense or elves or anything. So they only need 4 hours of sleep.
There was a huge human rights issue, and we left.
Was there?
We decided there
You
was.
think there was?
We decided there was.
Okay. After the party went to Serval, Smelting Ball topped up another smith by the name of Relsindran Sinelli, a gnome, a very short red-headed gnome who is down to flirt with him, I guess.
He was down to flirt with her so he could keep the alchemy book
Oh, where'd you get the alchemy book from?
from her.
From her? Okay, I don't remember
It
that.
says, someone might buy, she's trying to hold it for somebody or something. I can miss
Or is used as currency to buy
it
something.
now, and then it'll be fine.
And that's where Smelting Ball got his alchemy book, I guess. So our party went to Cathacia through a half-orc man named Vorsh and a half-elf man named Yanis.
Yanis the man is the elf with the beard,
The
yeah.
half-elf with a beard, which half-elves can grow beards, but he had the beard of a fucking dwarf, basically.
All we saw was pointed ears and a beard, and we were like, this is wrong.
Yes. So you guys sailed to the Cathacia, but unfortunately a storm, a thunder and rainstorm stopped you from landing in port in Eladir, the capital in Cathacia, and you were capsized and washed ashore on a different island in Cathacia. What is known as, I believe,
Was the moon?
the Moon Island, when you guys were trying to go to the Sun Island. So, you washed up ashore, went inland towards the jungle, the tropical jungles of Cathacia. You found... What did you find? Hold on. You found two factions of tribal humans living there, deemed the cannibal tribe evil and slayed their leader. Made a deal with Sahuagin in order to stop the Sahuagin from invading on the people living there.
Thank you for emphasizing the right way to say it.
Yes. Though this peace would not last long, as something else threatened the lives of all non-tribal settlers in Cathacia. An avatar of the tribal's god, Kaleb, was summoned due to the god's anger with the mainlanders' destruction of nature in the region. The party was able to have a battle of words, much to the chagrin of the DM who wanted a cool boss fight, and they were able to call him the avatar of rage, of the god's rage. In return, however, the mainlander settlers, the non-tribals living there, would be given 1 year to leave and evacuate the islands, or else the volcano would explode and the Avatar of Rage would return again, to cause chaos and havoc upon those who took the land as their own, even though it was not their land to begin with. The party found the Varovian ruby in the cannibal tribe, the Sharshami, leader's staff. It was confixed to her staff. They found that the teleportation gate that was in the ruins under the city of Eladir, called Old Eladir, who they went through and found themselves. When they slotted the gem into the gate, a giant wall of ruby grew from the gate, and out walked a ruby golem They fought the ruby golem with help of a coral golem that
Yeah, we-
washed up on shore earlier.
We had Pacific Rim battle.
I think it was Smelting Ball or you were riding on the back of it.
I tried to, but
Tried to.
I was just hanging off the end.
Yeah.
Hanging off the side.
They were just having a big Rock'em Sock'em Robots
Yeah.
battle.
I remember Shadow came in clutch during that.
Yeah, because it did double damage to them. So they went through the portal after it was activated. It took them about a month to recover. Smelting Ball did not go through the portal.
Yeah.
Correction, Adagio and Buttercup did. Smelting Ball walked the whole way back.
When I came back, I asked, why y'all so tired?
So you were told by the government officials there that when you go through the portal, the effort expended to get to there physically is what you all feel at once when you go through.
Yeah.
That's why it took you a month to recover. So,
I want a one shot, like a level 2 or 3 one shot that was just like Smelting Balls travels back.
we could.
In the alternate universe, it doesn't exist anymore.
No, in the. Oh. Yes.
So you guys found yourself in the nexus of other connected gates around Voros, back where they were expected to be in the council's palace. So you were then notified that the team the council sent to Kalangar, because they all sent different teams to different area of adventurers, because like 40 adventurers showed up to try to do this stuff. The team went to Kalangar had not returned, and couriers have informed the council that they had gone missing. A elven woman named Fathana Giltquin, a dwarven woman named Bringila Cranmar, and a halfling man named Corian Prisman all went missing, and they were the ones responsible for the gate in that area and the gym in that area. So the party set off yet again, for double or nothing kind of job, to find the missing team along with the magical Verovian gemstone, a quartz this time, and the gate in the region yet again. Does that sound good? Move on?
Yeah.
Look, you're going to say something. Okay. The party went to Larka by airship again, and then went west. Sorry, east. Went east. Across the Jolly Dragon Bridge dividing Varakai and Kalangar. The capital of Kalangar region, Vinsk. Bustling city with tens of thousands of residents only rivaled by the cities of Zorosos, Waterside, Baros, and a few others. Vinsk is a trading hub, the food capital of Voros, and the most common place for one to retire due to its generally calm history, although recently that claim was losing its credibility. The party learned about many things here in Vinsk, such as the Shadow Veil, a city thieves guild that takes valuables, destroys property, and smuggles a drug into Vinsk and some surrounding areas, keeping the poor and high class alike addicted and paying coin. They learned of a Knoll tribe to the rolling hills and fields off the roads, threatening travelers and recently getting bolder each passing week. Even stealing people from the smaller towns or sacrificing them to who knows what. The party fought a hill giant of Groland Tor with a guy named Tarshkor, One Ear Honor Shield, a monster hunter in the region from the North Kalangar Mountains of what the heck? Iron Peak Mountains. They even banished a few devils from a town whose people had only recently returned after seeking asylum out of the walls of Vinsk due to an attack. And the devils commanded Onkhags to uproot the citizens from the city and clear them out. Finally, the party had a lead on missing adventurers, a place called Fool's Bliss. They seen posters and flyers advertising a carnival or festival being held in the town. Let's see. They figured out that that was a lead from a town called Stadiel, Adventurers Capital, and that's where we started recording.
Yes. We actually started recording before that.
We did.
We were in Stadiel.
Oh yeah, sorry. When we got to you got to Stadiel, learned about the Fool's Bliss stuff, and then we started recording.
Yeah, like the very first stuff in episode 1 was the initial encounters with Charlotte and
Yep.
Avery.
I will say, before we started recording, right before we started recording, there was an incident involving a cart and some gnolls and a flint and some fireballs.
It did happen.
Where Smelting Ball
That was Eris.
lit fire to a cart full of prisoners that the gnolls had captured, not knowing that there were people inside. lying your way through to the captain of the guard who's searching these.
Oh yeah, the big dick orc captain. Yeah.
Tildrak Arangoth. So, sorry, that never happened, like as you said. So
Technically,
then,
that's true. It didn't happen.
so then, we start recording our sessions at this point.
Yeah.
That'll make sense later.
It's a surprise tool for we'll use it for later.
Commit war crime, rewrite the timeline.
Yeah.
The
We're
party,
good
I should say this. The party also met one NPC that is semi-regular. A water genie.
Yeah.
You sound like you have so much disdain when you're talking about this character.
Why?
Oh no, it just sounds like, and you met a water.
Water
And you met a fucking water
Yeah.
genie, bozos. And he sells you magic items, but not with normal coin. When you see him,
You pay with moisture.
your pockets fill up with Aquin torrents, a currency used on the plane of water. They look like oxidized copper coins, like they're like kind of greenish, like Statue of Liberty kind of thing. And they are only filled up in your pockets when you do things that he likes you to do, that you can afford such items that he sells.
I don't know why, but I always pictured these as in the shape of the currency from the water place in Mario Odyssey. They look like they're teardrop shaped with like little scales. On
Sure,
them.
that works.
That's what I always figured they looked like.
So, I believe at this point you got one item from him in Capacia. He has a demi-plane where people he finds interesting that could use some help, he helps. And your good, or at least good to him, deeds are what gives him income to sell you items. I forgot what you got in Capacia. It might have been the water walking boots.
No,
that
the
Chris
water
got?
walking boots were on Mike. I got the pipes of the sewer.
That's what you got from him? Okay.
Sorry. On topic, off topic. Didn't you get the boots when we were in the past?
No.
No? Am I tripping about
The
that?
boots of water
Yeah,
walking?
he
Water
got
walking boots,
he
has
got
those.
them
I know I
right
have them
after
in-
Fool's Bliss.
Yeah.
He started
I had
using them a lot in the Dark Lake of Season 2.
Okay.
Well, no, I was using them in the castle, because in the castle there were passages that were where we were fighting some of the vampires and we found the dragon. There were some of the passages, yeah, in Salamric. Some of the passages of the castle were filled with water, so I was like walking on top of
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I just remember him showing up in the past at some point, but I may be completely wrong about that.
In the past.
I could be wrong.
I don't think he showed up at all in season 2.
What, Koresh?
Cabal. Yeah, correct.
He did like twice. Once
No,
I
he
think
did.
to talk to Koresh.
Right!
He
And
showed up in when you guys went to Graven Hollow.
Yeah, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna give you these items." I forgot what I chose.
Adagio chose a robe of useful items, and he said, "I will give it to you when you come back to your normal timeline."
that's right, so
That's
also,
why I forgot. That's
Brian,
I
Don't forget, he also talked to Koresh as well.
What do you say? I don't remember that.
He said he would give me 3 items, one of which was braces of defense because we had Lab with us at the time.
Okay.
I don't remember the other items. I don't remember.
I believe Lab had a bracelet of
she did.
defense.
And she had those.
Yeah,
Oh, so I don't know why.
I think it was given at some point.
Oh, okay.
It was the kind of thing where you order from him, and then the lamp like rattles when it's ready in a few days, and you rub it, and he just gives it to you.
I think you and I both got the return to your timeline condition.
Either
which
way,
means you would have waited like fucking
We're jumping
400 years.
we're jumping ahead. Either way.
He never would have gotten them.
So we start recording our things. You guys make your way to Fool's Bliss, but before
Yeah.
you get there,
Oh.
you see what looks like a
Moose.
moose creature. Or is that after Fool's Bliss? I can't
That was
remember.
before.
That was before. You see a moose on 2 legs, with a spear, running with some forest creatures through the woods, just passing right through the road.
It was like centaurs.
So
Yeah.
serene.
Fake
Graceful.
creatures, man.
It's like Bambi's dad.
Then you get to Fool's Bliss in this massive forest of orange and gold leaf trees.
With the constant sound of snoring.
Not you know,
Not yet,
you
yeah.
hear it, but it did have a magic aura about it.
It did.
But you get past that Amber Arbor area, and you find yourself at Fool's Bliss on the windy, rocky coasts of eastern Kalangar, where a carnival is being held.
Carnival.
And in such carnival, many games and festivities were to be had about like jousting, pie eating, seeing the Beast of Aldwych, which is a gorgon inside of a cage underground. Many other things ensued. Adagio won a giant barrel of Was it wine?
Mead.
Mead?
It was my weight in mead.
Yeah, it was your weight in mead.
Yeah, it was your. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then, which is funny because it's not vegan. Mead's not vegan because that's honey in it.
Yeah, we figured that out
And
later.
Adagio's vegan. But anyways, the illusion was dropped at some point, and it wasn't actually a festival town at all, but a town full of these jester skeletons and onis. And you ended up realizing you were drinking human blood.
Yeah, and then I vomited my weight
A
in
giant
blood.
barrel of human blood. You vomited your weight in blood.
Yeah, I died.
And combat ensued, with which many people who were trapped in Aldwych were perpetually doing this carnival over and over, tiring themselves out until they just passed out or died. You were trying to save them by fighting these jesters and the Oni. The Oni escaped, but the jesters fell to your prowess in battle.
Should have escaped.
What should have escaped?
The Oni.
It should have?
Shouldn't have.
Why not?
Because you said it was 40 feet away, but it was really 30. And I got you on mic, you bastard.
We didn't know what the fuck we were doing back
I
then.
know.
There's no fantasy of the mind then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we met out of the survivors that were freed from this this town called Aldwych, which is also known as Fool's Bliss. We found Emerok, Xavier's character when he joined the group. Blood Hunter Shifter,
Yeah.
Order of the Lycan.
Red Rocket. The Red Rocket himself.
You guys made jokes about him pissing on hydrants and
Yeah, we're done with that now.
No.
And
Caleb
stuff.
and Chance made jokes about
Yeah.
that.
yes.
We're done with that
That's
now.
why you broke your bitch's heart.
Then, after leaving Aldwych, after getting your faculties, I believe you guys arrived back in Stadiel.
Yeah, we came back to Stadiel, dropped off the refugees, and just said, okay, you're free, have fun.
You fought some bandits on the way that were looking for that antlered moose-like creature as well. Or was that after that?
So, yeah, after Fool's Bliss, it was on the way back to Stadiel, we fought the bandits.
So they were
Smelting Ball basically one-shot the entire group. He spelled get fucked in the sky with a fireball, and then it slammed down.
Oh yeah, I did.
yeah.
And then, I know they said they were looking for the thing, and then we did like an insight check, and they were lying.
They were lying.
They knew about it, but they weren't going to go after it because they were shitty-ass bandits.
Yeah.
And then we stripped them of all their valuables, left them one longsword collectively, and said, have fun, try to survive.
That's right.
And we left them in that near that monster-infested
Our group has not been good since jump.
forest, and then we got to Stadiel and dropped off the refugees, and they were like, you guys are adults, take care of yourselves.
Yep.
Oh god, we're assholes.
And then Emerok stayed with the group
Yes.
Yeah.
because he was on a quest to look for someone.
Yes.
And he stayed away of a lot of towns because
It was the first time that we went to. It so happened to be a full moon, and Emmerich
Yeah.
left
yeah,
and came back with a deer.
yeah, not the moose,
Not the
man,
moose.
but just a
No,
deer.
just a whole ass deer.
And then leaving Stadiel
Mm-hmm.
because Smelting Ball got, I believe you got some mail that said from your sister.
No, his sister
No,
showed
she
up.
showed up.
we just
Okay,
ran into
the
her.
mail thing was a proto-beta idea of the quest. Okay.
Yeah,
She was there in person.
Yeah, she physically showed up
Okay.
to the bar.
A
Anyways.
proto-Neo version of that
So with
quest.
retcon, sorry, not retcon, but okay.
The truth.
Back on track. The truth was, you guys left Stadiel because you were told that some of the people you saved, two of them were Fathana and Bringilda. The two out of three of the people that went missing, looking for the Kalangar gem,
Okay.
and they had no leads on the gem or the teleportation gate, but they did say that they were missing Corion. And he left Fool's Bliss, not falling for the illusion, as a cunning, intelligent rogue that he was. He could see through it and just left because there was no point in fighting that many people by his lonesome. He just said, fuck this, I'm gonna get the job done. He left north, so that was your only lead, to go north to find Corion.
Remember, he said he was at the Lavender Springs.
Yep, you guys made it
Lavender Beds.
north to Lavender Springs on the lake known as the Raven Lock.
The Raven Lock.
The Raven Lake, basically. How original. After that, after you getting to Lavender Springs, you hear rumors of ghouls in the area. You actually fought a couple ghouls in a ghast on the way there. Rather uneventful little combat. Except for when I forgot the gas.
No, I'm pretty sure one of those gas really fucking hit me super hard.
I think that's true.
I remember them fucking us up.
I remember being uneventful, so that's funny.
I remember.
That was like
I
our,
don't remember a lot of
that was like
stuff.
our first encounter with like zombie types. We were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, which is crazy because my character knew what it was, but he didn't know what it did.
Yeah.
Thing where they can paralyze you. That's why they're hitters.
No, that's it. Because I was fucking paralyzed that whole fight. That's what it was. That's where it started.
The tradition of leaving a dodge out of every fight. So you get to Lavender Springs. You settle at the inn, and then you realize there's a figure in the bar. And Smelting Ball notices it's his sister, which shouldn't be out of Tingledon, the settlement in the underground area.
Who shouldn't be?
Her, because Smelting Ball's the only one who left, and the rest of them should be safe. Should have been safe in their hole, in their little gnome hole. But you team up with her. She says that something is going wrong back at home, and she wants you back. Something going on with
Mom and Dad
with your mom and dad. So you go back even more north towards Tingledon, and you enter Tingledon. As far as I know, there wasn't many stops on the way. You enter Tingledon. You realize your mother, Smelting Ball's mother and father, are suffering from the same exact effects that Smelting Ball was, of wild magic coursing through their bodies that they could not control. So it seems like this creature known as Ringdosh, this devil, this demon, rather, was corrupting his whole family line, and if he tried to flee, he would basically try to pull Smelting Ball back into his influence, making him suffer ever more. At some point, I believe, I can't remember if it was here or before we started recording, there was a Tomb of the Herald involved. I think it was before we started recording.
I think it was before Fool's Bliss.
Yeah.
I think.
So let me back up a bit. In the Amber Arbors, they also, before they got to Stadiel, they found a tomb of someone known as the Herald. And it was a tomb that was dedicated to the god of Bahamut. This is before Amarok / Xavier joined the group as well.
This is before he had gains.
There was a lady known as Penelope, a 16-year-old girl, and her mouse companion named Crumpet.
She's trying to steal your job.
And she was out scouting up the place because she wanted to. She was defying her parents by by running away because she didn't want to move to a different city.
Same backstory too, dude. It's weird.
She didn't want to move to a different city, defying her parents. Because she didn't want to leave the beautiful Kalangar where she grew up in the small town she grew up in.
Oh, so that was different. I wanted to get out.
Yeah, she was investigating this cool tomb that she found, and you guys helped her. You guys found what I believe was like a Bahamut little symbol. You might want to refresh my memory on that.
I found like a tassel.
Tassel.
And we found a ring and decided to. He was going to take it.
There was a ring of mind shielding in there, a brain on top of her.
A very specific ring of mind shielding that will come up later.
Yes, that held.
And we'll talk about it when we get to it.
Held something important, personality-wise, in there.
But remember, we shamed Derrick super hard
from a dead guy's tomb.
Yep.
And so you left it alone and just.
You threatened me with an alignment change for that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Twice for two different things.
Yeah.
And then you played Luke so you could get away with all that. You said on mic, I'm going to switch characters so I can get away with doing shitty stuff. Verbatim, you said that.
I don't remember that well, but I don't.
It's on mic.
But I don't say I don't remember anything about that.
I will mention, back in Vinsk as well, there was a couple notable characters. And the notable events that happened around Vinsk.
Oh yeah, Mono Okaz was there.
Mono Okaz, the Chamberlain to the Lord of Vinsk. You guys have so many fucking, you think it's so fucking funny that he's a black halfling. Oh.
That's where you guys started calling him Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
You also talked to a centaur lady named Serenity that runs a tea shop there. She told you about a place called Cantorum, which is just a shitty name for a centaur city, or a centaur village, but I did it.
There was also that centaur orgy.
Yep, I was going to make it to that. You learned about that place from Serenity in Vinsk. You went to check on her family, realized that they were having this giant breeding season thing going on, and you fucking joined in on that shit.
Had to help them get all hot.
Not with my penis, with my art.
Which is your penis.
With your punky.
Next
That's my craft. I got arts and crafts. That's my
With
craft.
your skin flute, rather.
Why is that your craft? You didn't make it.
It's my hobby.
He made his.
Why is it your hobby?
He made his son, but it doesn't work as centaurs with people. So.
No, I did their makeup.
Yeah, he did.
Literally.
Yeah, you did like all this like stuff to doll.
Like I very briefly became like a gay fashion designer.
And a vegan. You were a vegan.
Yeah.
You were a bunch of stereotypes.
Mm.
Anyways, get to Tangled in. Help Smelling Ball's parents because they show where this crazy magic they got was from. So to continue, the party helps Smelling Ball's parents at least find the origin of why they're having this wild magic as well as he is. That's a thick ass movie.
Thick ass boy.
Damn boy.
So, his parents lead them to a place called Salarmek, a fortress on the coast, northeastern coast of Kalangar, not too far from Tingleton, known to be, at least rumored, to be inhabited by vampires and vampire spawn. It's like Barovia Light, the castle. It's like Castle Ravenloft, but shittier.
I don't know, man. Castle Ravenloft was already like 99% was destroyed.
That's true.
If Castle Ravenloft is a rambler.
Wait, Castle Ravenloft was not destroyed.
It was.
Yeah, Adrian walked in and wiped out 99% of it.
Yeah, there
died!
So Castle Ravenloft was destroyed, and there never was a fireball in the knolls. That's balance.
And we still don't know how what happened to you still.
I know. What happened to him?
Anyway, we'll get to that.
Oh.
So, you go to Salarmek, investigate this Ringdosh character that seems to be inhabiting this fortress. It's an abandoned old fortress used by supposedly undead. Before you guys enter Salarmek, you guys fucking whip the shit.
That's right, yeah!
You guys, Adagio's like, swing me over onto the roof, and Chris uses this grappling hook installment to grab onto Adagio and then try to fling him up on the roof with his grappling hook. It works beautifully terribly.
So I think Koresh rolled a nat 20,
And you rolled.
I rolled like a nat 1.
Yeah. Yes.
That was the moment that Amarok realized that he wasn't working with like a group of like powerfully intelligent people,
Oh.
and that is like, oh, these guys are the C-listers.
I don't know.
Was
I don't know
that
why
the
you were
first-
probably were
Was
like.
that
everyone
sounds
didn't know.
like that sounds like the first duality of man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Anyways, you guys eventually do get into Salarmek.
Stuck to the wall like a piece of cheese.
While sneaking around, you hear rumblings, shakings, and loud talking in Draconic language, and you guys see your very, very first dragon.
I rolled really, really good in stealth, but he still saw me because of Tremor Sense, and I was scared shitless.
True sight, actually. He's ancient.
True side, yeah.
Yeah.
I
I think it's something on the blind side too.
Yeah. A copper dragon by the name of Vorlonga, sitting in this library within the keep of Salarmek. Tomes surround him with all this magical arcane knowledge, a lot of it necromantic. And next to him, just as big as him, another dragon, this time with no flesh, just bones, who he calls Flex, his brother. Treating him as if he is still alive, Vorlonga's mind is rotting away, and he is losing his sanity. After you play him a few ditties, because he loves music, and I think one of you told him a joke or something, I can't remember.
It was me. I don't know what the joke was, but I remember I told him a joke.
I remember
Riddle.
you said the joke. X cracked up, and I didn't get it because it required like knowledge of D&D, and I had no idea.
Yeah, somebody was
It was like
Wolver.
it was like something to do with a monster.
Which is wild because I didn't know anything about D&D at that time.
Okay, I recalled that contact. I don't remember what I said specifically.
Either way, Vorlonga tells you that this place was ruled by vampires and a vampire lord. He killed the vampire lord easily. The vampire spawn live on the top floor of the keep where he can't fit to because he's a big ass dragon. So he's like, if you guys want to clear out the keep, that's on you. Who's this Ringdosh guy? I don't fucking know.
Right. We came here.
I just live here.
Came here for ring dodge. Got told of a potential fight upstairs.
And a dragon and vampires.
Dragon and vampires, and we tripped shit into a side quest.
Vern Fonk was there.
Before any of that, you guys walked into a room, a lavish lounge room for the vampire lord.
Oh, is this the...
Underneath his chair, his divan, was a black sword. One of you grabs it, Adagio grabs it, then
You also grab it while he was
you
grabbing
grab it.
I grabbed it right after.
Yeah, you got
No, that's not what happened. I grabbed it, right?
Realize this effect that happened.
That's what it was.
I rolled Arcana. I succeeded. Found out that I could not let go, and then only after we found out that I couldn't let go,
Koresh.
then he grabbed it.
I had
The opposite way that he was standing.
I had an orange cat moment.
So
It's like we both grabbed it with our right
We're
hands.
standing like this.
Both right hands. Yeah, both right hands. We're like,
I couldn't use my bow.
Some kind of fucking stupid.
Yeah, it only gets dumber.
The Nature Boys.
You guys traveled through the rest of the first floor of Solarmic like this until you hit an armory.
I was astonished.
With
I
a
was like,
giant hole collapsed out of the roof because it's an old fortress and sunlight beaming in. When you guys put your arms in the sunlight, the weapon's able to be dropped.
I turned into gas first.
You turned into gas.
I drank a potion of
You did
gaseous
it.
form
Sure,
that
you
he
did.
made,
So you get out of the.
and I was gone, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, we found out that sunlight got rid of it. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then that's when Amarok got the big suck. And then this was part 2 of Kaleb does not get to do combat because I was gas, and it lasts like a minute.
Was the combat initiated?
I'm
after
sure you
this?
can end it. As
You can
yourself,
end
but I
it.
don't know if we
It wasn't a spell; it was the potion.
Oh, it was the potion. You're right. You couldn't end it. You could just sit there and just I'm gassed.
Yeah, so it was the 3 of you, and I was just like, can I like push him?
I remember that,
Nope.
that too.
Hey, that was you.
Was that against vampire?
Was this
spawn?
before or
Yeah.
after the Blair Witch?
This was
probably
like
before.
during.
Around the same time.
Like yeah, like after he let go of the sword, the next thing was the Blair Witch, and then it was the fight.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Blair Witch thing. I thought you just listened to it. You said right. You didn't get. You didn't get
I'm not quite there yet.
Okay, Caleb's like rewatching some of the old.
No. I have like rewatched it.
The Blair Witch thing happened on the top floor of Solarmic.
Yeah, because like we got the sword because I think by this point
I think you let us rest so I could not be gassed.
we had Big Suck sheath, so, that we didn't have
for
to-
context, the sword itself is called the Big Suck by some of the players called it that.
Yeah, we
because
called it the Big
it dealt necrotic damage, and the necrotic damage dealt would give you health back.
Yeah.
Or at least half of it. I can't remember the
something like that.
parameters.
Yeah,
It was a Dream Life
but
enchantment.
we had it was sheath.
Yeah.
And when we finally got upstairs, I believe it was Smelting Ball and Amarok didn't really want to go in the room because like weird shit was kind of happening. Adagio, no, I think Amarok's the only one that stayed outside. Adagio and Smelting Ball and Koresh went in the room.
We went into
It was-
cover.
There was a room
Yeah,
that
we're gonna
had.
cover because I think I saw like
You saw a barrel with
barrel with
Like a frost enchantment
scroll
on
I believe it was like a bedroom or some other
Something
kind of
like
weird
that.
room.
I
He was doing
I,
mage hand like crab.
I think
Scroll, right?
think I looked at it. I could see there's like a frost rune thing.
It's like
Right.
warding.
Yeah.
With warding on there. Okay, let's all take cover. I'm using mage hand.
With
to
the
grab
ice
it.
storm spell, or cone of cold, or something.
Something like that, yeah. So you two hid under like a bed or something, or like some rubble,
I think we like pushed over a table.
and,
We looked
and
behind
yeah,
it.
and Koresh decided to stand in the fucking corner,
Right next to the effect.
right next to the effect, as I for
On
reason
purpose.
for reason to this day I
thought you
still
said
do
the
not
opposite corner,
understand.
not
'Cause it
right
was
next
funny.
to it.
When he's
Yeah,
gonna
he
die,
was on the other side of the room, but he was in range of the spell.
Which
Hey, I had like I
No,
had
no.
80 HP and I took 30 damage. I was still alive. I
Which
did
is-
well
it
within
was a
my
low
range.
roll, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah,
it was a high level spell.
and we did not have any healer in the group.
You bard. A bard dodge.
Not with Revivify.
No, not with that much healing. At that level, no. You guys were like level 3 or 4. Or 4 or 5.
Because we were 7 at the
No,
beginning.
No, we were 7 when we started the Abyss.
Yeah,
Yeah, and this is like right when we got
before.
rid
Oh,
of
you guys
Right,
were level
right.
6 or something. So, we call that Blair Witching because in Blair Witch someone sits and stands in the corner like that,
Yeah.
right, in the movie? Okay. So, you guys eventually get through a lot of the Solarmic stuff while Ring Dodge haunts Smelting Ball as he's going through it.
Yeah.
He's hearing whispers, he's seeing shadows, the eyes in the corners of the room, basically doing lair actions and regional effects on you. Because he's a high level demon at this point. And lastly, you get to a room, the end of Solarmic more or less, killing a few vampire spawns along the way. trying to get to the bottom of this ring dosh stuff, where a room. You guys get into a room. I believe the door closes behind you, and there's no way for you guys at the time to like leave.
Right.
And you're trapped in this stone room, and Ring Dosh shows up.
I also want to note that we said we do not leave Smelting Ball alone.
Yep, we explicitly
I wanna
said
make that
this is the rule. Do not leave
explicitly
Smelting
clear.
Ball
Well,
alone.
I'm getting to it.
Yeah, no. But I'm saying before we went that he was telling us about this haunting.
I feel like we all said it multiple times.
Right. Because
Hey, we didn't know what would happen.
Because at the time, the only person that knew about Smelting Ball's deal was Adagio. Because they had some type of connection. So when all this was going on, we made it clear to each other, do not separate from Smelting Ball. I just want to lay that on
Because
the
he was
table.
having a tough
He
time.
was, yeah, he was having a tough time.
Hey, no one's blaming you. You didn't have to.
So you guys enter this room.
He was your friend first.
I'm
You're
just saying.
walked in. There's a
It was a collective mistake.
sacrificial
Yeah, it sounds like a
summoning
dress
circle on the floor with blood and the whole works. I don't remember the sequence of events exactly. We can watch the.
I do.
Okay. Do you want to go for it?
Yeah, we found a jar with like a single gold coin in it, and we were like, "That's probably a gold bug. Let's see what happens when we roll this into this satanic circle."
Yeah.
And the bug disappeared, but the thing stayed. And we're like, "Okay." And we tried to erase the circle in several different ways. It didn't work.
There's a goat on there that was bleeding.
There was a goat that was sacrificed.
Goats were a big thing for Ring Dosh because he was like a goat like him.
A goat
Uh,
that I think it was the same goat we saw earlier, or no?
No.
That was just
No
him.
way to tell
There
specifically.
was a goat at some point following the group, and that was Ring Dosh in a
We
disguise.
fucking sussed him out, and
Yeah.
he just ran away.
Eh.
Oh, it was way over though.
Yeah.
But
creepy little fuck.
you guys were able to basically walk through this circle and then just be boop, teleported out.
Yes.
The last person to walk through that was Smelting Ball, but before he could, it was
Fucking
the magic
cut off.
stopped, got cut off, and he was stuck there without his party. And Ring Dosh showed up behind him, and as far as we know, they both perished because at the very last bit of the combat, that was looking very bad for Smelting Ball. He cast a fireball on the roof, and the roof collapsed on both of them. Well, the way demons work, if they're on the prime material plane, or any plane that is not the Abyss, they get sent back once they are defeated in the plane. Right? So, at the very least, at that point on the timeline, Ring Dosh was no longer on the material plane.
Yeah.
He was sent back to the Abyss for as long as he needs to until he can come back.
Smelting Ball super dead.
The players other players that went through did not know this because they just said, "Where's Smelting Ball? He didn't come with us in this portal."
To this day, we still don't know.
2 seconds later, Amarok was bitten by a gold bug.
Hold on.
And did it move?
Before that,
Oh.
you guys were falling down
right,
down the
that's
fly
right.
of despair for an unknown amount of time.
Like Spy Kids too.
I had gray hair when I came out of that.
No, you didn't.
You need to do that more often.
Okay. So, an indeterminate amount of time later of constant falling down this abyssal hole, you end up in
No, there was something in the hole.
There was a big ass
Okay,
thing in the
getting to
hole.
A parasite.
end up in
You saw a baby.
well, it wasn't during the fall.
After we landed.
It was after I landed.
Oh, okay.
You guys end up in the I don't remember what exact number layer of the abyss it is, but it's the layer of abyss that is
Kill him.
Fungus.
the layer of abyss that is ruled by Zugmoy, the demon queen of fungi and rot. The last thing that happens, or the next thing that happens is that Amarok just gets immediately poisoned because that little bug you sent
Fucking
through,
poisoned by my constituents.
the bug you sent through in that jar, in that glass jar stayed, but the bug went, so
Yeah.
life forms go through it. So the bug was just on your person when you fell through.
Which is wild because I wasn't even holding it. It just bit me when we got
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it fell down.
I think you
I did
rolled. I
not
think you
die
rolled
from
for which
terminal
one of us it
velocity.
Yeah.
Bugs don't have terminal velocity.
Probably had wings.
Secondly,
They can't fall fast enough
in the
to die
sky,
on the ground.
you guys all saw a
It's like
being
legit.
Magic
that
terminal.
I could just tell you, it's an aboleth.
Yeah.
Oh.
Same
That
with squirrels.
was just flying in the sky.
I'm not.
Which I don't believe aboleths have a fly speed. So that's a very
They got swim speed,
It
yeah.
was a weird aboleth. Abyss is weird. Also, Buttercup was missing. Buttercup, when you went through the abyssal portal, you never found Buttercup again, and still to this day,
So wait,
You don't have
Buttercup wasn't on him when he got there?
he was. Well, Buttercup was in him when he went into the portal.
Into the portal, but when we landed, Buttercup was gone.
Yep.
Is Buttercup a construct and we just don't know it? We're like not an actual life form?
Huh?
Buttercup was not with Smelting Ball during the combat.
That's true.
She did not get left behind. She
Yeah.
did go through
I
the
mean,
portal.
it gets implied at the end that Zuckmoy found Buttercup first and then killed her.
It's weird.
Yeah, later on I think she says something.
I can just tell you this right now. What actually happened is that yes, it's like boy didn't find Buttercup, and she read its mind to know what you look like to expect you and the group.
God damn.
Your fucking rat betrayed us.
It wasn't her fault.
No, it's implicitly her fault.
Anyways, you guys
I'll fucking kill her.
in the abyss, this strange alien plane of existence, start walking, not knowing what to do, how to get out of here, where to go.
We get captured with a little red demon from Smiling Friends.
Some weird demon things ensue about them mining out different parts of Zuckmoy's dead, decaying, petrified body, which is the abyss layer itself. Doesn't really matter. You guys make it through, find some myconids, which Koresh tries to alter himself to look like them.
We did pretty goddamn well up until the actual mind was.
Oh no, that was a good plan.
Some
until it
myconids
failed.
spored themselves. You cannot absorb the spores, and therefore you cannot talk to them, and they're confused why a person who looks like a mycon, or a thing that looks like
I
a
think
mycon
Caleb used
can't
prestidigitation to make it look like I had spored. But
Yeah, and made it look
didn't
like you were trying to communicate.
And it
But
confused
then
them
it
even
didn't
more.
work.
Yeah.
That was a big issue throughout season 2.
That was the
Yeah.
entire
It
issue
was.
for him. He couldn't
It
speak
was.
to anything.
And then you guys eventually, after seeing lots of spore servants and shambling mounds and things of that nature, you found your way to the city of, I believe it's called Mycelium, and you made your way to a group of myconids with a sovereign known as Ventable.
Ventable, yeah.
And
Was this before or after the jailbreak?
Yeah.
oh yeah, sorry,
We had a
you guys
jailbreak.
got captured
You
by
forgot,
demons at
you
some
forgot a
point.
party member.
Yeah,
That was
sorry.
jailbreak. That was prison
Sorry.
number 1.
You got on the way to Mycelium. You got captured by some demons in a combat. Lost the combat. You guys got captured, thrown into a prison cell, which is weird. I shouldn't have done that because that's a devil thing to do. Demons just straight up kill you. I didn't know what I was doing back then. But anyways,
We would have died.
We're alive now because of it.
yes, a character named Cole was in this cellar or this prison cell, or these prison cells with you. A character named Cole, a half-orc paladin at the time
Of angry.
of Nemesis, I believe was the
That
idea.
was the idea, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
that was
sure
the
smells like
idea.
ass in there.
Probably
and
because all the ass that was in
a
there.
jolly good, always smiling looking,
Always jolly, fun-loving bitch.
trying to find the good in all bad situations half-orc at the time.
He's also a vengeance paladin.
Yeah.
He kills you with a smile on his face.
That
was the
paladin
original-
of anger.
That was the original Cole.
You were just Orc Doom Guy.
But happy.
That's pretty much what was happening, yeah.
Doom Guy's happy when he's killing demons.
So he was captured here.
Maybe
He was
that's money
investigating
revenge.
some unholy garbage happening on the prime material plane. Got zucked as well into this abyssal plane. Got captured immediately by demons. Thrown in jail. You guys met up with him, and you got thrown in jail. You did a big old jail bust. Daja was naked, or most of you guys were naked for some of it.
Wait to do the riding from MGS2 like hand cover.
Yeah.
Like, running
That was
I
doing
thought he
cartwheels.
had like the synthetic or whatever.
You know, they were clothes.
He-
I
he
refused
was-
to wear those clothes.
Yeah.
I was so afraid of like mushroom shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck this. I do not want to wear anything.
And then look at what happened.
I know. I would rather have my gooch
Yeah.
exposed than be touching
Yeah, so
this
he,
shit.
He was naked. Amarok
Burning
wolfed
him.
out in the jail cell.
With the big suck in
with the
your
big
hand.
suck because I drew the big suck
You
while
were-
we were in the abyss.
You were a
Nice.
Skyrim werewolf with the glitter. You still have the sword in your hand.
Yeah, and then they told me to let go and I couldn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were
They
like,
kept trying to pull it
stop
from you."
resisting. You're like, I can't.
Yeah.
It's a natural weapon at this point.
I simply cannot stop resisting.
You got a sword. Yeah.
Leave it to the black character to get stopped by the cops and can't release his weapon.
It just works out like
The
that.
cops in this scenario are demons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was the
I
one
mean-
holding the big suck. I don't know. Anyway, you guys make it to Mycelium.
Oh wait, there was a really cool thing I did. I remember.
What was that?
No, there wasn't.
Okay.
No, okay.
Tell me, Caleb.
There was also mold.
Those fucking grasshopper guys.
The Casmies?
The
They're like
Casmies.
flies or mosquitoes.
Yeah, so when we fought them, we figured out that they like have tremor sense.
Yep.
And so I used thaumaturgy to like vibrate the ground.
That's
And
right.
just float with them.
You did that.
I try to award smart play like that.
Like that entire jailbreak was such a like.
It was weird.
It was a
It
very
was fun, but it was weird.
Yeah, no, I was like, I'm gonna try something.
I believe there's
like,
also like an elf or a human guy that was with them. That was like a weird wizard guy that was like.
Oh yeah, because
He was like a cultist.
the things that got us, that gave us an idea that shit wasn't okay was that the fact that we met the half orc. That's when the Casmies came after us. We met a half orc or
that
an
was
orc.
a spore servant.
That was a spore servant.
He's a
and-
full orc, I think.
and we tried taking off the spore that was on him, and it freaked him out, and he started screaming, and that alerted the Casmies.
Yeah.
And then there was a closet full of myconids.
Anyways, you guys make it to Ventibold in the big old city and his cloister of myconids that he commanded. You learn about melding, a thing that myconids can do to like basically drug you into having an outer body experience, and if you do it so hard, you'll actually have a
An inner body
real
experience.
teleportation thing going on.
We got ultra roofied.
So you got ultra rubied into the layer of abyss, one higher than you were on, which is the one where Zugmore resides on, called Pileus. And you were able to go into Tide and meet into her palace and meet Zugmore herself. Learn that she had a problem, which was
Oh baby.
she wanted to get married to restore the more than half of her power that she had lost because Juablex created a severance severed the connection between her and most of her fungal body on the prime material plane. So, in fear of death, Koresh and Adagio agreed to do this. Kull and Amarok refused. Zugmoy let them refuse just fine and let them send them on their way to explore the abyssal realm on their own with no way of knowing how to get back. And that was the last we saw of Kull and Amarok.
I like to believe that we buddy copped our way out of the abyss.
I'm sure they did.
I would like to think you just glassed that level. Just the whole fucking level.
I mean,
like you're still there, but you two are level 20 now.
This is literally just a warrior and a paladin. He could heal me if shit's going south. So
Yeah.
we could just.
Also, it's like paladins getting create food and water.
Yeah, we were good.
Yeah, you just glassed
With
everything.
those 2 spell slots or whatever you had.
I had more than that. I was a full paladin back then.
Okay.
You became demon princes.
Oh fuck. No.
Awesome.
That's pretty.
Wanna go back
Amarok
to-
the Demon Prince.
yeah, the demon prince of beasts.
Okay. Anyways. So with accepting this gift, season 2 starts. Which we took time off to play Tomb of Annihilation
Yep.
unrecorded.
Yep.
Yeah.
Derrick DM'd that one. And then we came back to play season 2.
I learned a lot.
I learned a lot as well. I learned a lot since season 2.
That was your first
as
time
well.
being a player.
Yeah.
You play your dad.
A bald white man. A tall bald white man, yeah. So it's starting. No, season 2 starts. You have a ring given to you by Adagio, a platinum ring, wedding band.
He is Adagio.
He gave it himself.
Sorry, Adagio was given this by Zuckmore. It has
Whoa.
a skull with
Oh, you're so handsome.
a mushroom coming on top, a jawless skull, and it had an
Why did
inscription
you
on the
fuck
inside of the
boyface
band.
into that?
Inscription on the inside of the band with
It's looking in the mirror.
a phrase you have to say when you get to around my coast. This is the part of her that is severed that needs to be rejoined.
Arouse my toes.
Which aroused my toes. Chance kept thinking it was a Ralmakos. It's a weird word.
It is.
So
It's a man and a
you
place.
talk to Ventibold and he tells you he can get you out of the abyss and into the Underdark where Aramikos resides. And he lets you meld there. After getting a couple like demon artifacts that they stole from people, like potions and stuff, like some general supplies, you're able to make your way to the Underdark. Then starts Out of the Abyss.
Would you like a bit?
The actual official adventure from Wizards of the Coast I modified heavily to fit in my world of Voros. So Menzo Berens and Gracklestad, places in the Forgotten Realms that technically exist in Voros. Don't worry about it too much.
All from a side quest.
Yeah, this was all side quests because you guys never actually did the thing with Ring Dash that you're trying to do. You never found the Voros.
That's how D&D goes.
It's
quartz.
like
year-long
the first
side
big
quest,
DLC
baby.
is accessed by failing an important side quest.
That's kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie.
That's, yeah,
I
honestly.
mean, it's unique.
So at this point, the quest for the government is void. You guys never found the teleportation
failed the
gate for Kalendar. You never found the quartz that you're supposed to find for
failed, side
Kalendar.
quest.
And I told Kaleb where the quartz would be this morning because I was like, fuck it, it's not gonna matter
We were this close.
Yeah.
to finding the quartz. You never found the teleportation gate. I'm not telling you where that is, but unless you like find it in season 3 for whatever reason. But
I mean,
I'll
didn't
find it.
Kaleb inform the people that were giving us this information, like everything you needed to know about the teleportation gates?
We're gonna
Yeah.
cast locate teleportation gate.
At Fort Voronthar, when I was talking to one of the Tetrarchs,
yeah,
I was just like, okay,
that's in season.
here's how you're gonna
yeah.
solve season 1 before I get back.
Yeah.
So now we don't even have to do that side quest. We're good. No
Maybe.
point.
We'll get a new side quest.
No, it's gonna
It'll be worse.
No, why? It's gonna be something like, oh, they unlocked the final gate. The fucking the earth opens and there's just like this eldritch
No,
thing
it's,
inside.
it's
Well, the
gonna
thing
be,
is-
it's gonna be you going around turning off the teleportation.
Teleportation magic is illegal.
All you know where which gates are where is the Cathacia one because you did that one, and you don't know where the Kalendar one is or any other one was.
You know where Zerosis?
That's the Nexus.
But I don't think he told him about like where they were. He was telling him about the teleportation problem.
Yeah, they were confused about teleportation and they didn't know about the technology. Same with airships, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
So season 2 starts. You're in the Underdark. You awake in a jail cell with many characters.
Prison number 2.
Prison number 2. There's a third jailbreak later.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a
In
small one.
Gracklestug.
God damn it.
It was a one-person jailbreak.
Oh,
Was
fucking-
it really a jailbreak?
So introducing
Smooth cakewalk.
Luke Rockhold, also known as Luke Lamora later on.
Luke Rockgnome.
Also, Fel Ket
Gnome Hole.
Torth, a drow, a half drow.
The Shadowfell, yeah.
And
That's
Lavender, the tabaxi,
She didn't get a pun.
and Petra, the warlock. Eris comes later.
Rest in peace.
Oh,
So, in this cell with a bunch of people, one named Julieta, a dwarf from
that is
Fort
right, it's
Verunthar,
Founder. Holy shit.
a little Myconid named Stool,
Little poop.
a
Little shit.
Kotoa
Hello, boy, poop.
named Shushar,
Poop.
the Awakened,
Rest in peace.
along with some some
voice.
later known to be were-rats for Neblin deep gnomes named Topsy and
Guidos.
Turby,
Oh.
the twins,
The Guidos.
along
Hey, how
with
you doing?
another deep gnome that died immediately on the prison break,
I tried.
The man who was inhabited by
I
a
really did.
That was like the holy
Jim
one.
Jar.
Jim Jar, the man who was inhabited by a fucking god.
That I did not make canon.
This just
Who's
fell
the
and
god?
died.
I remember the name.
Why
It's
do
a-
you
it's
call
a
him
gnome,
Poop?
gnome god.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Just because it's funny.
Remember we all decided to jump off the stalactites? I had my Ring of Featherfall and I was trying to grab people and I failed every single
Anyway.
every single roll. And so it's just like you see each and every single one of them just smack into the water.
There's also a
I'm just,
snow orc named
oh
Rot.
no. Oh.
A snork named
A
Ron.
snow orc named Rot, which a snow orc is a orc from the
Ron.
very northern parts where it's always frozen and snowy.
You also have that weird ape man.
A Quaggoth
Yeah,
named
Quaggoth.
Arendil, who said he was a very high noble elf from the kingdom of Nelrindenvane, and he basically gave the party a tip himself later on when they escaped this drow prison in the Underdark semi-successfully, and they were able to get out of there on a millipede carriage, and the Quaggoth basically tipped the party off to realizing that their travel to the Underdark and Dungeons Bresches was also a travel in time.
Nope, it was Ron.
It was.
Because I asked Ron what year it was, and he told me.
Oh yeah, it was wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry. It was.
We also had Fishman too. Don't forget.
Yeah, you said that.
Shushar.
Uh,
And on the way
He's the one who made it up the best out of all of us.
on
He just
that
went back home.
Julieta made it up pretty well.
Yeah, that's it.
on that escape from the prison, you also met up with Eris, a tiefling man,
beat the shit out of something.
paladin.
What were you fighting?
I don't remember.
He was fighting Casmes. He was
A
just pulling sword
future,
at
a
Casmes.
future nature boy.
Yeah.
The seeds were
So-
planted right here.
A beautiful
The
friendship.
nature seeds.
A large event happened where
Moving into a
you found
beautiful
a
green goblin.
What a fucking great. God damn it.
The group found
That's why
it.
we'll get there.
The group found a tomb, one dedicated to a god
Oh, gnarly.
known as Osiris, which is a god Adagio and his family, his tribe, had venerated.
Oh,
the desert.
You don't be singing ISIS songs now.
Now, once entered, there were Bulazau demons inside. The Underdark was overrun by demons. Apparently, these in this time, in this 400 years ago time that they are in. The demons were also commanded by a one Ringdosh Artiglyph demon 400 years
Oh.
in the past.
That wasn't
before
his name.
Because we
yes, I was
learned
gonna say.
after we fought Ringdosh that
His name was not Ringdosh at the time.
I was like, oh hey, you're Ring Dodge, and he was like, ooh,
Nope.
I'll take that name. Or you said that.
It was actually me, yeah.
Either way.
And beat him to death.
The same exact demon, the one that was haunting Smelting Ball and his family line.
No, we encased him in stone.
I killed him.
Petra did,
do
yeah.
that.
We killed him later.
You
Yeah.
killed him later? Okay.
Well, you kiss him in stone, talk to him for a while, and
I killed him with my first and last usage of Eldritch Blast.
lastly, at the end of the tomb, it looked like this Ringdosh demon was trying to grab this item on the pedestal at the end of the tomb. But in stopping him from doing so, stops Ringdosh from corrupting the idea of Osiris, which is what Adagio got his tiefling nature of his birth, his birth race from. His race from when he was born, a tiefling. So when you able to find this artifact, inside was Osiris, a spirit of a
An
nature
aspect.
god, an
Like
aspect.
Mad Eye Moody.
The death side to the many different facets of nature and life that is nature gods, specifically Sylvanas.
So he's Big Papa Green.
Yeah, but it's the death aspect.
Like
of
that's the
life.
nature dad, and we were his nature
Yeah, no,
sons.
it's big green.
We were his nature boys.
Uncork the flask, releasing the part of
Big
Sylvanas that is death away back to the back to the astral plane where he resides, and back to the higher planes.
It's like seeing Indiana Jones
Don't
World
take-
Spirits.
There, the flask dissolves into sand, and
Which sucks because that's such a cool item.
the iron flask.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a legendary item too. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It traps things.
It's like a shittier version of the iron flask that you had, and then that's when Dodger realizes, oh, yeah, Ringdosh
I'm brown?
was the whole reason that I'm a tiefling, and that Osiris is the god that we're worshiping. It should be Sylvanas.
Yep.
Then the party splits when trying to go north in the dark.
Well, you're skipping over something.
What am I skipping over?
I had a race and class change.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Adagio's race and class
I was
changed
mutated.
because of
Look like Ben
his,
Kendrick.
his connection and
girl
the
transformation.
connection to
You know it.
Sylvanas and the severing of Ringdosh's connection to Osiris, which is connected to Sylvanas. Adagio, his tail falls off into like a weird snake creature, and then it dissolves. His horns recede. He turns into a human. The same, what he would look like if he was a product of his actual parents, not this purple teeth.
I became brown.
He became brown.
That's when you put the picture in the video. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I changed his skin. I literally like race. I give him brown face in the video from purple face. And then you changed into a druid from a bard because you were telling me you wanted to be a druid for a long time, and that's when a good spot to let that happen.
Yeah, I was a bard with druid tendencies,
So you kept some of your bard stuff, but you're also
and now I'm a druid with bard tendencies.
so
You don't even have bard tendencies. You're still just a druid.
you just look at you got the pipes of the sewer. You got the water walking boots at this point. I can't remember when that happened, but
Yeah, either way.
You got the water walking boots like
during the carnival, there were you
Right
got
af-
into a
right
tent
after
and
Fool's
found-
Bliss.
Yeah, Fool's Bliss.
a day later.
I didn't think they were useful until something later on in season
The
2.
party splits. One half.
Not too long after this happened.
One half has an amazing time.
One half. Okay, they have a differing in where to go. They could go to the Menzoberranzan city of Drow. They can go to Gracklestug, the city of Dwergar, or Bligdenstone, the city of the Deep Gnomes. So one half the party wants to go to Bligdenstone, one half the party wants to go to Gracklestug. The half that goes to Gracklestug has to go through a town called Sluladup first, sail across the Dark Lake. This is the fastest way to get there that you learn. Sail across the Dark Lake into Gracklestug.
What a...
You can hear the people that had a bad time.
The second half, people get to Bligdenstone just completely on land without any
Horrible
mappable
adventures.
hiccups that we'll get to in a second.
Man, fuck you guys. You guys had such a beautiful time.
You were barely there.
Comparatively, yeah.
I know.
You
You know
were
what
barely
happened?
there.
I was only there during the worst
Yes.
bits.
I don't know if we told you yet.
Baboons.
Yeah.
That was part of it. That was the first part that went wrong.
So,
That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The rest of it also went wrong.
on the way, for the Bligdenstone group, we'll start with them first. Start with the easy way first. You guys end up fighting the Drow matron, the Drow mistress warden, prison warden lady, with a retinue of her Drow in a cavern in the Underdark caves. Petra, I believe, end up being the one to deal the final blow. You take some money and an IOU for the slaves that
you're
she
missing.
had.
You're missing some stuff.
What am I missing?
The part where Luke and the gang didn't that happen beforehand?
Oh, it
didn't it?
did? Okay.
And that happened before this because this was the second group.
I'm not going specifically in order. I'm just saying what happened along the way.
Luke masqueraded as a Drow woman and
That also
domineered a
happened.
bunch of Drow men into following him.
Oh, that's right. You were the Dommy Mommy.
Yes,
You became
with a disguised
a-
self spell and some really good acting.
You had a driver with you named
Yep.
Xereth or something, and he was serving you up until a certain point when you started attacking the other Drow that came up.
Yeah, the
with
other Drow showed up, which is
the prison warden Ilvara.
it's fucking great because I was able to use their culture against them by saying it's like anytime I said anything kind of sus, I just say shut up, listen to me.
I'm a woman.
I'm a woman, shut up.
Yeah.
And he's like okay.
Yes, boss.
So
Fucking worked to my advantage.
that's
Taking his
weird.
advantage so fucking well.
Oh, boy.
God damn it, I loved it.
oh god, there's a lot of things that happened in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
Yeah,
70
we had
episodes.
mostly a leisurely stroll after that.
Yeah, mostly leisurely stroll. You guys fell into a ooze temple.
Oh yeah.
A temple to Gonador, the god of oozes. The Drow, dark Seldarine god of oozes.
That's right.
You're able to find a little ooze guy that led you through called Glabagul. He was a nice little gelatinous cube with 2 eyeballs that didn't dissolve inside.
Goated.
And you were able to. Inside of him there was a mace that lit on fire if you said his name.
Mm-hmm.
And you also found a rod of Gonador, a thing that would let you unpetrify these specific great oozes to reanimate and be under your control for a certain amount of time until you could say the command phrase again and then they repetrify the stone.
Right.
You had that for quite. You used that like well into the campaign. Like,
He used it a lot.
I had 6 slimes in a bag.
yeah.
You're able to get out of there and make your way to Bligdenstone. The other team, however,
We also had to run away from a giant V Black Ooze tsunami
Oh no.
on the way there.
Oh yeah, you saw the Pudding King once.
I destroyed every town I went to.
the other team, however, had a very
I
rough
destroyed
time.
every town I went to, and all I got was this lousy
I
T-shirt.
got these bitchin' sunglasses.
The other team had a rough time where they went to a place called Slubladoop.
We saw our characters from the very first ever time we played D&D dead.
As a little reference, none of
Yeah.
the people watching this knows what we're talking about. It's when we played First Edition in 2015.
In 1985.
I wish it was, but we were playing it in 2015 like fucking goofballs playing First Edition
Hey, that was you.
because that's all I owned. Because it was from my parents when my dad
Imagine if we
was
started with like 3.5 or 4.
4 was rough. Anyways, Slubadoo, a place full of Quotoa, a lot of them going mad, having civil arguments with each other. Shushar as the only voice of reason within the community, but it doesn't work out very well because they still fight anyways. And what happens is, during the fight, and this weird ritual that these Quotoa are doing, trying to summon a creature known as Limugugun, which they don't even know is actually the demon lord of chaos, Demogorgon. They end up successfully summoning him to their area, rising out of the water with tentacles and baboon faces about 40 feet tall, just completely destroys most of Slubadoo from just the water's edge.
And fell,
Crash
and
and
fell,
fell,
fell, and surprisingly Koresh shitted out their face.
Yeah, just looking at
We
him.
felt
Lost your mind.
Crash blue screened and like fucking expelled everything he could possibly expel.
And I made the same.
And the
because
sweat.
I was
Oh, I
paladin.
forgot about the sweat.
Just looking
Everything
at
from his eyes.
There's an adagio where like arms entwined, like guidancing each other for dear life.
Please.
Oh fuck.
just looking at
That's where we
Demogorgon
became
gives you
best
that.
friends.
And we did some cool little tech.
Hold on, let him finish.
And then you are able to flee, leaving accounting for everyone but
How
Darendil.
do we flee?
We fucking left that guy.
How do we flee?
You fled.
I made-
fled using darkness.
Anal beads.
There's the bead of darkness.
It was a chain of them. We made anal beads out of
yourself.
darkness.
Daisy chain of
It was hiding
darkness.
Demogorgon from
Yeah,
your
and so we
sight.
wouldn't be able to see Demogorgon. That was smart.
It was a good plan, but it was fucking stupid. Because it was also a giant beacon of, hey, this is where we're leaving.
Yeah, but he wasn't worried with us. He's
Yeah.
too busy kaijuing his city.
We did get incredibly lucky that he didn't give a shit about
That is
us.
also true.
Anyways, you guys escape. Adagio goes, ah! And he disappears.
Basically,
Hey, and hey, you know, you
Yeah.
skipped.
That's what happened.
Yeah, you skipped most of the hard shit.
I mean the hard shit.
The hard
You
shit.
guys run away, you
It was
look
hard
back.
All I missed was the
walk.
Dark Lake.
You guys run away, you look back, Darrendel's not there, and Adagio's not there with you guys anymore.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Darendale wasn't there
and
for the
if I'm not
get-go.
mistaken, Koresh was pretty butthurt about Darendale being gone.
Shushar also stays back and tries to be like, I
No,
need
he
to
got
save the
Manwin
city.
wrong.
goes wrong. Yeah.
And then you guys make your way to the shores of the Dark Lake, not from Slibadoo, from a different cavern. And you got... Oh, you also rescue a Dwergar man named Hemeth.
Yes.
And he knows...
Hemeth's a man.
He's like, I know where to get a boat.
He's like, I know where to get a
Or
boat.
like, you.
So you guys get a boat.
Except we all get in except for
Because
except for Koresh.
Everybody in the party we had except it
You
was
would
like
have
5 people.
sunk the boat.
No, we had room for everyone but one person.
And then I was like, wait a minute, I
He's
can
like
walk.
300 pounds.
Because Crush had the water walking boots, he
Yeah.
just decided to walk the whole
I
Dark
walked
Lake.
the entire fucking dark lake.
Didn't you pull the boat?
No, I didn't.
Okay. For some reason, I have this image of you pulling the boat like a mule.
Because it's funny, I'm like a beast of burden.
Yeah.
They start whipping me like, hey, go faster, boy!
Alright, bro, you're already a beast of excess.
Oh, God.
I should mention,
Andale el burro, andale.
I should mention, during the Underdark travels here,
My
they had-
burro, Rocinante.
they had to deal with this pinkish mist called Phaserus.
Hell yeah.
I love the Phaserus.
You do?
Hell yeah.
I'm glad you
Loved
like
it.
it.
I liked it.
I loved
I ended up liking it in the end because it powered me up.
Yeah, a pinkish mist that made
You were the
wild
most
magic
affected by
effects
it.
happen when
Yeah, I'm
magic
aware.
spells were cast within it. And it basically was a way to nerf spellcasters in the book because they'd have to deal with random effects sometimes that would be harmful, maybe. Anyway,
Turned blue.
I got older.
Short.
Turned
it
young.
did weird wild magic
They
effects
took the
similar to the wild
laxatives.
magic table that the sorcerer has.
I think I turned older, and then younger again.
And they were turned
I
blue
did
like
too.
14
I
times.
turned blue a lot, and then I got shorter like 5 times.
You were also turned young once. And then
I lost like 3 years or
Yeah.
something. I didn't lose very much time, so it didn't really matter.
Adagio was
But
fresh
I
and
got like,
fist.
I remember I got like a
You
foot and a half
realize-
shorter.
Yeah.
Because I got
Just over
shorter
the
so
age
many
of 18.
times.
He kept making short jokes like, hey,
I
what's the
kept-
weather down there?
I kept getting shorter.
Hey,
That
big
was
guy.
the worst.
Didn't Adagio like go past 18?
Yeah, it was either me or Luke.
I think Luke got
I
young
hit
too.
18 at one point.
Yeah.
I
Did you
was
go past it?
I got super fucking young.
See, I thought one of us got past it. Was that me?
I don't think any of us did.
I
remember
don't think anyone went
believe
under
I-
18.
By the end of the campaign, I became the youngest.
Yeah, I thought you were like
Yeah.
16 by the end of it.
I think it was.
I don't
either-
think it was that much.
I think I was 16 for a bit, and
then we got
bumped,
cured.
and then I got bumped back up.
Yeah.
Didn't I roll the thing that
You
made
shit
me
it
grow-
out,
that
and then
made
you
me,
got young again.
Made me grow hair.
That's
but then
right.
it
I
didn't-
did.
It didn't work.
That's right.
Something.
Like I grew the hair and then it all fell out.
It
Fucking
immediately,
robotic.
yeah.
Alright.
So the party gets to
I
Gracklestug,
would love that mullet.
and
Wasn't
Gracklestug
that
is
bad.
bitching.
Wasn't
I had
that
a great
bad.
time
I'm
there.
just gonna summarize it by saying not a
Gracklestug's
lot
fun.
of really important stuff that really matter.
We
happened.
met the man, the myth, the legend.
Other than they met a fat ass obese red
My
dragon.
boy,
I got
Thunder
arrested.
Chad.
We're about to see him in a movie.
We're about to
And
sing
Phil
the
got arrested again
It's number 3.
Stupid ass.
You committed a crime.
because you tried to barter and that was a crime.
Yeah!
No, he stole the shit
And
back.
you stole it back.
You stole your stuff back.
It was reclaiming my property that was stolen from me.
That's a way to say stealing.
They stole from me!
But they were the one in charge.
I don't give a fuck! And
Yeah,
that's
but-
why I got arrested.
All over
Racism.
like 15 gold.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
Anyway,
Speaking of gold, isn't that where you're also?
And you know
bought, like,
what?
this
That
breastplate?
brings my hatred of short races
Bronze
even
armor.
further.
Yeah.
that's fair.
This is also where you bought.
That's where I bought bronze armor and polearm because I wanted him to survive because I thought because like Snorks and then something about my backstory and then he
And then he didn't survive.
and then he
There is a
perished.
mission that was given to the party in Gracklestug from this red dragon to
R.I.P.
oh god to find a egg that was being hidden from him by his own subordinates.
Gartakar.
By his Gartkar and the other keepers of the flame from the wormsmith known as Thembershode, the red dragon.
Oh, gee.
Because it doesn't really matter. I just want to blaze through this at this point.
We went to a hot spring, and that's where I came back.
Yeah, you guys went to
Topsy
a hot
and Turvy
spring.
keep their
Here
lives
as the
for us.
water.
Yeah, I showed up like in between Fell's legs as
Bubbles
he was bathing.
came up, and then you just arrived because
It was like, oh, Fell farted, and then this brown guy showed up.
you got while you were gone, Dagio. While you were gone from the beginning of the Dark Lake area to Gracklestug, you had visions of talking to Zugmoy.
I got zugged.
And you saw things about like a marriage song, like the women will be wed, that kind of stuff.
He was getting a ring too. I believe.
And
That was way early.
And the time between when he disappeared and when he showed up was like that.
Yeah, he did.
For me,
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like he just fell asleep and woke up.
Yeah.
Whereas next time you saw us, we all had 1,000-yard stairs like we just came back from
Yeah.
Vietnam.
Anyways,
We did.
You killed
after the whole
you killed that one guy.
after the whole excursion within
Killed
the
you.
Whirlstone tunnels underneath Gracklestug, the party got a bag of holding. The party got a few and got all these weird Underdark items throughout their journeys in general. But when they returned with the egg,
Isn't that the place where we found you still, or is that later?
Later. We had the entire party when we had
along with some sidekick characters that showed up.
the boss.
How
The boss?
was
The
Yeah.
boss.
My goddamn hat.
a goat that
I forgot you had the hat. Yeah.
yeah, a
Big
goat.
pink.
Halbos was one of the goats that
He was the goat.
the goat, and a goat that the dwarven king of Varinthar used as a battle mount and side like little pet guy.
We also had Eris's hat.
There's
I
hat.
missed my hat.
And the
big pink.
Gracklestug sunglasses that we
Perma
keep
advantage.
talking about.
And,
No, the Gracklestug
and
sunglasses were
before the hat, it
before we
was
met Thember showed.
Granny Creme
I bought those immediately after
It's
we
all
got
right.
there.
And
Yeah.
the Gracklestug
While we were there, I bought
Because
the dumbest glasses
that's
of
where we
all
fought
time.
the two-headed the giant end.
Yeah.
We also had Granny Kremdovich for a
I think I
little
was wearing those glasses when
I
we
think
fought the
those
first
sidekick
guy.
Yeah.
bit. In big pink.
Before they were able to get back to the dragon with the egg, there was an encounter with Fel and Zalith Mascalier.
Yeah.
Where Fel was an escapee of his house
That
and
went bad.
worshipped a god that they do not like to have people worship called Elustrate, a chaotic good god of Dark Seldarine that
My wife.
likes to smear away drow that are susceptible to compassion and
Being a
love.
good person.
She's yet to discover clothes, and she gives Fell wet dreams.
Yes, there was a lot of wet dreams happening and a lot of sticky situations per se.
I give you the Vegeta look every time it happens. The door look.
There was an encounter with Zalith Mascalier, a huntress designed to take back dissidents from the drow houses. A dog turned into like a bird and picked up some of the party members and just
And we
fucking flew.
slammed into Denver show. It's like
that was a great scene. I love that.
Yeah, while Fel
That was
and
a
Hyle
fucking
watched the
shit
dimension
show.
door up and ran the
That was
rest
a
of the
losing
way.
So you get to the Denver show, you give them the egg, you realize there's a demon fucking invasion happening in Gracklestug
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
sirens
had
are
a-
going off. The fucking London's getting bombed right now.
Yeah.
I had a really nice, tender moment with Thembershode.
Yes.
I
So
gave
he-
him my spyglass and I regret it.
I don't remember if he gave you much.
He gave us
He gave us
out.
a way out.
medals.
He gave you a medal under his service, and he gave you a way out as a reward.
Yep.
He pulled a lever, and a giant door slid up, and he said, "Go this way."
Yeah.
So you guys flee that way,
They cracked his knuckles and went to work.
and he's like, "Guard your car!"
That's right, yeah, you went and fought.
Rest in peace.
God, alright.
Was it like
Yeah,
next
he
time we
tried
saw
to
Zal,
one-
she got
he tried
shit
to
and
1v1
fucked up.
Demigorgon, right?
Just
Yeah.
burns all over.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna go fuck.
Fucking
Yeah, no, we found
shot, bro.
Demigorgon. He was beat to shit.
Yeah.
And the Bligdenstone guys were preparing
To die.
to do some side quests. They fought a
Just hang out.
basilisk.
That's not
and
wrong.
did some stuff there. They helped the city of Billionstone of the Deep Gnomes rebuild and fortify their city.
They helped the
from
workers unionize.
This were-rat and ooze mixture a conflict going on in the city.
It was the dichotomy of civil engineering and the other group civil destruction.
Yeah. At this point,
Saw his little Chinese legs hanging.
I don't
Chinese
remember
animal
the timeline of events specifically.
There were some demons in the mine that's where after we escaped from Denver show, that's where Koresh RKO'd that demon.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Right.
To death.
I remember.
And not too long after that,
Can't
we
believe you
appeared
fucking
near
got
Bligdenstone.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Gracklestug people met up with them in Bligdenstone.
They
yes,
met up
that-
with somebody specific as well.
Yep. The Bligdenstone people, while they, okay, what were we gonna say?
I was gonna say, if I recall correctly, when the Gracklestug dudes were on their way to Bligdenstone,
The nature boy.
they met the Herald who was being pursued by
That
some
was when they
drow.
met him? I can't remember when it happened.
I'm pretty sure that
You guys-
was.
you guys
I think
were there?
because-
No, I think it was on the
because
way.
Hellboss was there. Because
Yeah.
grappled a lady and pulled her into her.
All the
like,
players
insect
were back
storm,
together.
Yeah.
The
And
party
then,
was-
and then she had to teleport out.
So a
Yeah.
drow, another drow priestess of Lolth was chasing down a dragonborn slave who fled from Menzel
hot.
Baranzan.
And then somebody.
So hot
This
in here.
dragonborn,
Oh, man.
silver
Eris-
dragonborn, named Yestil Verdar, the same dragonborn that
Turn the heat
season
down a little?
1, before we started recording,
Why you gotta heat up so high?
the Herald's statue, where that little mind ring was that did not get taken and was, they were like, we shouldn't deface this. That Herald was alive and coming towards them in a cavern, running for his life.
What would have happened had we taken that ring back
I
in
don't
time?
know, because
Wait.
I didn't think you were going to do it. Also, I didn't expect season 2 to happen until you guys were already like tripping shit into the abyss. And I was
That's
like,
fair.
well,
That's
okay.
fair.
So, this some combat ensues, trying to keep this dragonborn man Yestil from dying because he's a person who suffered from the drow. It's getting hot in here. Evey, I know.
Some random drow charm,
Some weird
some random
thing happened.
person.
Some weird thing happened.
Some
He just
weird-
kind of,
some-
he just kind of died for some
he
reason.
just
I don't know
died.
what the
He
fuck
just
happened.
died.
Yeah, here you go.
Eris was traumatized around, killed you still.
Don't let him leave! Don't let him leave!
Don't give him his jacket.
Don't give him his jacket!
Shame on you! And then I took his ring
Eris
of
killed you still.
Eris fucked up and got charmed.
You heard it
I
here
fucked
first.
up by failing a save. Oh god! Whoa!
Save.
Shut the fuck up! I rolled a 2.
You killed the main character, you bitch!
On top of that, he had a shield that gave him advantage on charm. On charm saves.
Yeah, you picked a real
What do you
good
have to
bunch of
say?
AC that time.
I plead the 5th.
Piece of paper that says 5th.
He won't say anything until he gets his attorney.
Yeah, I don't. I plead the 5th. I can't talk.
Anyways,
I took his ring of mind shielding.
he
and I
still had a ring of mind
shielding.
shielding on him. His consciousness goes into the ring. His body is left lifeless.
To rot.
The ring gets taken. His mind's in the ring. When you tune to the ring, you get to speak to the mind in the ring. Yestil himself.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, you know.
Damn me up.
So, then the party that did all that met the Blue Stone party of Lav, Petra, and Luke, along with Julieta, the dwarf lady related to some of the
dwarf.
the royals.
Wasn't it after some time a random elf appeared in...
I was gonna say,
Okay.
when you guys were appearing there, you all met up in the same tavern and had like a conversation with the whole group.
It was during Petra's
He
inspiring
met-
leader rant.
They met
Yeah.
that elf woman before we got into that town.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you met someone that they already knew about,
Oh, yeah.
which was a wood elf woman. I don't remember the name I gave her. It doesn't really
It
matter.
doesn't matter.
It was H. What? What is it?
Yeah, I just said a random name. Elaine.
Sure. Ghislaine. You guys then realized, after only a little bit of time, that this person wasn't who they really were.
She's
They
very
ended up dropping a disguise and looking just like Fell's sister. Someone very devoted to Lolth and very devoted to the Drow way, that
was bad.
the Drow matron way of life, which is to subjugate everything, especially males. So, when attacking this thing and trying to stop it from, stop this lady from capturing Fell again, his brand, he had a magic
My
brand
brand.
that started hurting and burning because they can do that because they're magic Drow slay
Ow.
people. The creature known as Brixis, or the being, Fell's
Fetch.
sister, dissolved into a puddle on the ground because it was a simulacrum the whole time. But now she knows where he is because she was scrying on the simulacrum.
Yeah.
So, they decide to get out of Dodge as soon as possible, but before they can do that, they have to solve Bleedingstone's ooze issue. So they
Boy,
can-
didn't we?
So they commence Operation Royal Flush, which was being constructed and planned before the Gracklestug team got there, which was to do this crazy elaborate scheme to pour this sulfuric acid all over the oozes, which oozes are usually resistant to acids, but the sulfuric stuff really hit them hard because of the chemical compound it was. They fought this guy called the Pudding King that summoned a giant torrent of black pudding And things went very bad when Blingdenstone ended up being covered in the flood of ooze, dissolving every deep gnome with inside, including some things that Koresh was really mad about, Chance was really mad about.
He was making mechanical rat for Dodge.
Right.
Yeah.
And previously Rakastog
And I had
armor
that
with
was my fault. I had an Armblade Rapier float its way though, because that survived, but not the mechanical rat.
It's a magic item.
Yeah, not the mechanical rat that was brought to life with magic. No,
it wasn't finished yet.
Yeah, it wasn't done.
It wasn't magicked up yet. It was just gears and.
But the magic rapier with no +1, just magic.
Yeah.
Could have got nothing.
Also, Luke almost died.
Yeah.
He was just
Yeah,
he was hit with a disintegrate and survived.
holy
down
shit.
to about
one HP.
One temp HP that Petra had given.
That's
HP.
fucking.
God, I forgot
crazy.
about that.
It was the one inspiring.
I remember that
he
being
was given.
that was the moment where Luke decided adventuring was not it.
That was the moment. That was the first time he was given a slice of really big humble pie.
Yeah.
It's he's running around like he owns the place, and then
There's
that's
the
the
homie
first
died,
point
too.
where he was literally this close to death.
Cube.
Oh, Globagul died.
And he's just like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
shit.
Because he was traveling with the Blingdenstone part.
I just love the I regret nothing.
Exactly.
And we'll mark that down as major city number 3 that we destroyed.
That was always the joke. Everything was fine until you guys showed up.
Yeah, because it was true. That was the
shit
joke.
happened.
We were the heralds of destruction.
Damn it.
Once is a coincidence, twice is 3 times is it's probably.
I would
our
say
fault.
about this time is where the group got their name, the Heralds, as they ended up killing. Yes, he still died somehow. Who
7
was the original
pounds, baby.
Herald? And now they took up the Heralds in a different way, where wherever they go,
guys the
that
Heralds
shit
of?
tends to
It was the
happen.
herald of adding a type of
Yeah.
adjective afterwards.
Heralds of whatever.
To the deep gnomes, Blingdenstone was home, but to us, it was merely another statistic.
It was just a Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday.
So,
The day the Herald showed up was the most.
if
All right,
Blingdenstone losing all its people wasn't enough, the 1-2 punch came, where Luke got to see the ghosts of these creatures.
The Guido ghost.
Yeah, fucking 10,000 Guidos flooded his body.
They flooded his
Hey, you
his body,
motherfucker! You killed a
and
fucking
he changed,
city.
He changed from Mastermind Rogue to what was
Phantom.
it? Phantom Rogue.
I can't even fucking believe it. They're
Calm
telling
down,
us to go
calm
inside your
down,
body. Come on,
calm
man.
down.
And the 1-2 punch was that with Luke's new power, he had this moment of humbleness, and he's trying to help different party members get over what's happening. He went up to Fel and tried to get rid of his brain.
Oh my god, that's right.
It was
Spell magic, remove curse.
It was a remove
Yeah,
curse.
yeah.
I think we had it like on a spell gem.
It
or
was
something.
spell jam, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
We had like a million spells.
So,
it's
the
I
thing
was
about
hoarding
Fel
spell gems.
Yeah.
is that his power from this Elistray god came from the fact that it was taking control of the brand itself. And if you remove the magic on the brand, you remove the vessel that the Elistray was clinging to in the first place.
God, I forgot about that.
So Fel lost all his player levels as a warlock,
Hell yeah.
and then a session later, he got him back, got his player levels back as a paladin bard. So we had
As a
a
accident.
think we're
2
super
bards
fucking
and
dope,
2
actually.
paladins in different mixed matched ways out of 3 people in the group, and then a druid and a raid.
we were pretty beefy of a.
Hell yeah. Solo
Party.
classes.
And
The
then
heralds were a thick party.
And then the
Yeah.
rest of the parties were not that.
Yeah.
The Heralds were probably the most well-rounded party I think that we could have had.
It had by far the most
Yeah.
survivability in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, and we had
What I did,
monk,
you guys all
monk
rage
lab
assholes.
and warlock picture too.
Hey, we didn't tell each other what we were playing.
We
So
didn't touch over playing before either. It just worked out better.
the party then travels west, and they end up in a place called Never Lake Grove, which is where that little mushroom guy they had with them stool this whole time was trying to get to.
This little mushroom tip guy.
Yeah, it seemed to be a sanctuary for them, with actual things to eat, places to rest, and nothing dangerous at first sight.
Despite the fact that the party was ready for this place to get fucking
We just
wrecked.
assumed.
You got attacked later.
After learning about how the mechanisms
got a lot of
work,
time,
you
though.
meet.
Yeah.
You eventually go to the dark side of Never Lake Grove.
Sometimes like Grove.
Have a couple combats, or one combat with a mushroom creature talking about becoming one with the great body, You're like, what the fuck is that all about?
That's Jesse the Body
Well,
Ventura.
wasn't there like a field of like dead humanoids?
Yeah, they were
Yes.
they were growing their spore surface.
Yeah, that's where I got my periactive wound closure off of a woman who was infected and could not die.
Yeah, she's
had
like,
it.
please help, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
yoink.
So I just fucking killed her unintentionally.
Hey, you know what?
get
That's the best
to
thing you could've
You guys get to the tower in the back of the go where Zuchtmoid, the demon queen of fungus, 400 years later, doesn't remember
400
Elijah
years
or
earlier.
Thresh. Huh?
You said earlier.
Earlier. She's getting a wedding dress knitted from fungal biomass and plant matter. She is in a sleeping comatose state. She gets woken up.
She had a baby.
She had a baby in her, which was the Aboleth that you saw 400 years later in the present time where you're from.
Your baby.
Libelous.
That was
Baby.
flying around in
Baby.
her
Baby.
abyss area.
Baby.
She doesn't remember any of
In the
Crush
shape
and
of
Adagio's
D&D
interaction with her
Voros.
until she gets absorbed by she absorbs stool, and the baby inside her eats stool along with a few other ones, including Ventable
Rest in
as
peace,
a little
Poop.
sprout.
Oh, rest in peace, you little bellends.
So
Oh, man.
then you realize then she does remember Koresh and Adagio and their mission to wed her to around my coast. So you come to the conclusion that stool was a receptacle for everything
All the poop.
in her mind. It was like a chunk of her mind inside stool that was sent back 400 years later as well.
So if we
Chicken
killed,
long
100
game.
years earlier.
Earlier. Sorry.
so if something happened and Poot died, how would that have affected the?
She wouldn't have remembered.
Oh, okay.
I knew you guys weren't going to let him die, though.
I
'cause you
wanted
loved
to
him.
kill him.
We loved him immediately. We
Yeah.
started calling him poop.
Most of the group was like, don't hurt my mushroom son.
He was also invulnerable to a lot of the battles.
he also he had a silly name. Well, we gave him
He was
one.
basically just like,
He
Not
didn't name, and I
involved.
said no, it's Poot.
He's like, my
if
name
you
is
actively
Stewart.
wanted to hurt him, you could.
It's
I
poop.
mean, anytime that Koresh got hurt, he should have got hurt. I mean, it's whatever. Bitch.
So
So you
then,
could have held him if you wanted. Damn.
I wanted to
after some
powerbomb
Never
the
Like
shit.
Grove shenanigans,
Should have given him a little helmet.
they Zuckmoy tells them the
Little
group
sword
that
shield.
they don't need to
Just
hurry.
got a little football.
They don't need to hurry because Jewelblex won't make his move until something happens.
That was our
later on.
fucking Rogu.
So they're like, okay. She's like, okay, go. The Demon Queen says, go, okay. Go to the surface to get your dwarves and your whatever, your anti-demon force. Come back down, do what you gotta do, and when you're at the end of everything you need to do, come to the wedding. Then we'll have the wedding. So off you go. You meet more westward. Towards a place called Graven Hollow you learned about. I don't remember how you learned about it, but you
We
did.
learned
The
about it
Stonekeepers.
from.
Don't give a grum.
Oh yeah, you learned
Yeah.
about it from
Yeah,
Dragon
yeah.
stuff.
Well, they learned about it. I wasn't there.
Yeah, the group as a whole
I think we
gets
learned
the
about-
information in one way or another that in Gracklestone you learned there was a place where stone giants lived. There's some stone giants in Gracklestone that told you this information. It's a place called Graven Hollow. It's a library with a lot of information pertaining to things going on in the Underdark.
The only piece of civilization we didn't destroy.
Never like Grove was okay.
It's fine, but there's
It was destroyed when we got there. That's
Wasn't
my
there like a
conclusion.
political like?
It was a civil war.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna get into it. It doesn't matter. For that recap that bad. I'm talking about stuff that will still matter
Yeah.
in season 3. Okay, so you go westward, meet a Dwergar called Flamorak, steal some of his shit, bolt
yeah.
out of there before he can sick his Golem's Magni Modi on you. You kept going westward, and then you end up in Graven Hollow. Get some info.
Didn't we do a
on-
fight that we were about to do a fight that we completely like got away
That
from?
was
Yes.
like
Just-
that was 6 of them.
we did that a couple of times.
Yeah.
We made a highway.
Go to Graven Hollow, learn some information about your character backstories, your potential character futures. I'm not going to get into all that detail.
Oh, that's right,
This
yeah,
is
we saw
taking
the
way too
future.
long
Oh,
as it is.
Yeah.
I saw myself.
You have a premonition of you guys meeting someone in the future here. So you're like, oh, we're going to come here later.
Yeah.
So you get out of Dodge, find some useful information, but nothing world-shattering there. Go towards Fort Verunthar, which is where Yulietta needs to go, which is where, in the prophecy of the Herald of Yestil Verdar, he goes to Fort Verunthar. He escapes them to friends and runs to Fort Verunthar all the way through the Underdark, warns them that demons are invading the Underdark, and all the dwarf armies flood the Underdark and take care of the problem one way or another. You're not sure. The prophecy or whatever, the tale is not very detailed in how it happens. At least in where Koresh and Adagio's timeline comes from. So, but in this case, they're the heralds, because Viestil is now dead because of their actions. So, They go to Fort Verunthar, but before they get there, Zalith Masculier shows up, burned from Thembershod's fires, scarred from Demogorgon's fury.
You're as beautiful as the day I lost you.
Fel is able to calm emotions her, convince
That's
her
right, you did.
that she doesn't need to do this anymore. She's run too far. She's too far from Menzo. This is bullshit. You need to calm down.
Redemption Paladin.
For some reason, she listens to you.
Oh man, I loved that. That was a
For
good, that was a really good scene.
for interesting reasons that she actually might end up agreeing with. She does listen to you, and she just is like, fine, whatever. I'm also tired of being serving under drow houses. Fine. I still don't like Elistray though. Ugh. So you guys all make it to upwards in Verunthar by scaling this waterfall, doing some weird octopus wild shape shit.
Oh my god, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, chip funny.
Then you guys get to Fort Verunthar. There's a situation going on there where the king of the dwarves has been usurped by a different one. A king that is not related to the royal family, but the king's best friend was put onto the throne. A king named Velric Drakenmask, a man who's a tyrant among the dwarves,
Wow, I wonder what he is.
getting rid of the dwarven way of
That
life,
last name
culture, religion, that sort of thing, making it all more militaristic, harsh, stern, law-abiding,
Sounds pretty dwarfish to me.
but even more so than usual.
Yeah.
Dwarf plus.
Yes.
Hell
Terrible subscription service.
Also, you realize that the flames of
It's all
Fort
forges,
Verunthar,
right?
everything that powers the forges here, is this cyan, magenta, and yellow fire.
That's right. We never really kind of followed up after that. She kind of went down.
This kind of interesting, like, CMYK fire, I guess you could say it is.
KY Jellyfire, what?
CMYK cyan, magenta, yellow, black.
I like yours better.
This polychromatic fire.
Yeah.
A little more purple than most.
And some downtime shenanigans happen, some dwarvish thuggery happens.
I got a bell.
Huh?
Yeah, you get some people do some fighting.
Oh,
stuff.
we
some
met
pit fighting.
Vlan
I was gonna
Durgenfell's
say,
like ancestor.
You end up seeing Vlan Durgenfell's, who was one of the Academy of Arcane Arts in a Centaur in the future. One of the teachers there, you meet his ancestor, who works on
Wait,
phased
Vlan
potions.
Durgenfell's at the Ocenor Academy?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck
your
yeah, dude.
timeline.
Fuck yeah. Okay, cool.
Didn't we?
He's the one who creates the mass-produced health potions that I have on the table.
I'm his biggest fan.
Didn't we get thrown in jail when we got to Fort Verunthar?
That's also true.
And
Jail
the-
4.
Yeah.
Jail 4.
Yeah,
and then-
anti-magic jail.
Yeah,
And you break out.
And then that's where I met the other.
you
the
get-
other
We didn't get
drow.
break out. They let us out.
You let out, and you also met some more Elstray God-Fear and Drow. Good God-Fear and Drow.
Good God for you.
And then
Naked.
Boys.
that's what also eventually convinces Zalith to join them and join you in Elstray ship. That's a little bit down the line.
Mhm.
So you end up meeting Velric, learn all about that. You learn about the after some downtime activities with some people doing pit fighting, some people doing crafting in terms of Petra, and Luke doing some reconnaissance and thievery.
It's true.
You realize that this primordial fire being is the one that powers the under forges of Verunthar and all the smelting, minting of coins that Verunthar does, and all the crafting and heating of furnaces and cooking and everything is all done under this weird pink, blue, and yellow fire.
That's also when I got my divine inspiration.
It's true. And then
That was when this was when the Nature Boys first formed because we all went up to the surface for a little bit to see the trees.
there's
Yeah, we
there's a small
just
period of
stood
time.
hands on our hips and stared at the
There's
trees.
a small
And
period of time when you left the gates of
Trees.
Verunthar for a
I
few,
yelled
for
out
a few minutes, and we're like,
screamed.
nature. But you were quickly
Wow.
sequestered back into
Nice.
Fort Verunthar for the bigger problem at hand, which is the demons invading the Underdark that will eventually reach the surface. And
a mooch was called.
a moot was called. Of all the luminaries throughout
Oh,
Voros, or the western
declared.
side of Voros, rather, that could help with this
We're
invasion.
declared.
At this point, I was disguising myself as a Fane
Yeah.
from fucking Divinity.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of factions came over, including Hill Dwarves, Atashna Monastery monks, the priest of the pale sun with a man named Wolrin Vital.
Boo.
There was also known as Wolrin the Tall.
Posthumously.
There were desert tribals.
Yay!
Jihadi Jesus.
Yeah, Jihadi Jesus.
Mansoor.
Yeah.
The man, the myth, the legend. Manny
I
Fabry.
can't
remember how many other
remember
ones
who
were
that
there.
person is.
There was the
The academy guys
The academy.
showed up.
AKA Big
It's
Boss.
the big wizards.
there was Osenor and his time student.
His name was Emerin? No.
Steve.
Sure.
Emeren's a girl's name.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Your
And
sister.
also Nicoria Aurelian.
Yeah.
showed up. One of the
Nicoria.
4 tetrarchs of
Nicoria.
the Zerosos Council in the main government. She's basically one of 4 presidents
And her unhusband.
and her unhusband that had a mysterious plot point where he got taken away and replaced by a warforged with illusion magic.
Yeah.
That doesn't really matter right now. What does matter
I can't.
is that the invasion force was assembled, dwarven armies, were called upon and got armored up and weaponed up. Zalith Mascalir admitted that she fucked up by doing all this gross drow shit and was like, "I want to turn to the light, baby."
Wasn't
Whatever.
there the Void Knights showed up
The
too?
Void Knights showed
Yeah.
up.
Wait,
too.
Hell yeah.
What just because it was a cool moment when we cornered the current Drow
I
King.
was gonna mention that
Okay.
right now.
Yeah,
that was after all.
that
Was after?
That was after
Or
everyone was at the.
Oh, you're right.
Everyone was at the moot meeting. Like
was post moot.
it was after. It was like a big.
I thought that was during moot.
It was like the big dinner.
Yeah.
It's like the end of the
Right,
movie.
right.
Yeah, I think it was right after.
It was the middle of the movie.
At the end, you guys cornered the king Velor Drakenmask because he looked like he
Fucking
was.
lab did a
He was fleeing the dinner, trying to be sneaky. But as soon as he left the room, fire elementals made of the same multicolored fire that powers Vernthar came out and tried to attack the different people, the different luminary factions throughout Voros. You guys fought them off. Then you cornered Velor Drakenmask, Lavender, Tabaxi through a mushroom that they found in Underdark that makes you speak the truth.
Oh my god, I forgot.
I'd like to point out I had no idea what was going on until it happened.
That's fair.
It seemed like the most organized plan ever, and I feel like no one was in on it.
What I forgot to do is that Velric is a shape-shifting creature. I forgot to let him use his legendary resistance.
Yep.
That's fine. He wasn't expecting it. I'll let it slide. I did let it slide.
It was a great story.
It was really neat.
and I thought the creativity was cool at the same time too. So whatever.
What was he, a shape-shifting creature?
It was a silver dragon, my friend.
Ah, his
He was-
last name. Hmm.
He was a dragon that was.
See, I didn't catch on to that either. I, was,
Dragon
As
mask.
a dragon.
I just thought it was cool. Dragon last name.
He was
Whatever.
masked.
I was like, there's dragons fucking
It
everywhere.
was
on
like
this
the kind of
continent,
thing
so
where it's like it can't be that
But there,
obvious.
I thought
it
there
was.
weren't that many dragons on the continent of Voros.
the whole
weren't,
continent
which
is
is why it
named
was-
after dragons.
It's named after it, but you guys didn't. I thought the lore was that there weren't many around.
Well, this was
true.
also 400 years
Yeah,
ago.
there's still like dragon shit everywhere for 400 years in the future. So a guy with a dragon last name, I was like,
But there weren't many physical dragons, so this was still
Yeah.
like whoa, what the hell?
yeah, that threw me off. It was
The
just
only dragon
the
you've
name.
ever known about in your timeline
What are you
is Rolando.
doing?
Right, so when I hear the name, I'm like, okay,
Kill him.
I couldn't possibly. This whole clan
No.
couldn't possibly be dragons.
Came up
Anyways,
like Jesus Christ.
the motivation for why this silver dragon was posing as a dwarf was because throughout this whole adventure, you guys have been getting hints that in ancient times, about a few thousand years ago, dragons roamed all of Voros. It was their homeland, part of the place where they were. It was their basically land by right. It was where they.
The name was named after dragon.
Voros, Vor is dragon. Voros is home of dragon. The dragons is the name of the place.
Do you like Vor?
Anyways, the elves that came in from the west sailed into Voros. They were amicable at first, but then took over their technology of Warforged, teleportation gates, what have you,
Around elves, watch yourselves, boys.
and they waged war, poisoned, killed almost every dragon in the whole continent.
Bitch. Don't lean back in your chair.
Velric Drakenmask, one of the only dragons that's still alive, one of the very few dragons that's still alive from that time, an ancient silver dragon, posed as a dwarf in the settlement, made them more militaristic, less compassionate, his people less compassionate, to build an army capable of maybe counteracting this elven force of thousands of years ago, where he believes the war is still going on. In his mind, the war has not been won. He is still.
We also thought he might have had a little bit of madness because he kept thinking that the war was.
That the demon influence was getting to him. To get a lot of people on the surface by this time, because the Underdark, it's flowing through, popping out.
Things were getting
Phase-
spicy.
Phaedrus is
We saw Phaedrus Cloud.
You saw Phaedrus clouds on the surface.
I think that was when we went up and we're like, nature. Wait.
What's that weird pink?
Oh
Wait,
no,
pink.
pink nature. That's bad.
Pink nature, that's gay
But yeah.
nature.
What happened was Selreem escaped. You guys looked away for a second, had a little meeting in a different room, and he just fucking booked it and turned into his full dragon form and flew away.
Yeah, was it like left bitch and right bitch helped him out?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Left tilde and right tilde.
Is that what we called it?
Yeah.
Left tilde and right tilde. Yeah.
what are their actual names? His assistant.
The twins?
Yeah.
Left bitch and right bitch.
Yeah, left bitch and right
So,
bitch.
with the king missing,
So
a
stupid.
vacuum in leadership and power was there, who took up the reins in Nicoria Aurelian for a time, until a true dwarf monarch could be reestablished.
Okay.
Our girl.
During that time, Julieta rose up to the challenge.
In the meantime, he killed and cooked and ate Albus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Velric
That's
killed Halbas.
right. Oh, I'm pissed off. I want to find him and kill him.
He had
Dragon
Halbos
did,
fought that elemental dragon by himself.
Yeah, it was basically sacrificed to the very under portions of Runthar where the fire primordial known as
Halbos
Magira
went down swinging.
ate him up.
That's the second time you've had to do that.
It was!
Technically.
I think we pointed that out before. It's like, fuck, it's the second time that I've had to have my character just fight an overwhelming force and just go out on their own terms. Essentially.
Yeah, Halbas was a sidekick for those who are
Because
listening.
the way
No,
I'm thinking...
Kyle Boss was the main character.
The way I'm thinking of it is...
It was his world, we were just living in it.
Mark the Destroyer.
Anyways,
I just mentioned he was like...
the counter demon force is assembled. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to go through the details. You guys go back to the Underdark, but this time on the offensive instead of trying to run away.
I think we all had like cosmetic and costume changes.
Yeah.
On the surface.
We had time to change our costumes.
So you became purple again.
Yeah, it was awesome. So I took a big shit.
You were naked.
I shit out the Phaedrus and I was feeling good.
You guys get to Graven Hollow again because you saw yourself with an army of dwarves looking at something as a vision for the future. So you're like, okay, when we get this, we'll go back there. You get back there, you find a drow man named Vizeron Devere.
Fuck that bitch.
He is very anti-Lolth, but he is not a good person.
He's a butthole.
Bitch ass.
He's a old drow, a high level arcane wizard.
And cheated at chess better than he did.
He says
I was a gorilla in
he
the
says
background.
I have the keys to stop this demon invasion from getting any worse.
I wish you would have let us just fight him. I wanted to see what happened.
We would have died.
You,
Yeah, I know.
You reluctantly agree with some squabbles along the way.
Oh,
Some?
no, it felt silly. It's
Constant
Some-
squabbles.
You travel through
Nobody
a
liked him.
secret tunnel to his
Oh, yeah.
tower known as Araj, which means vengeance and drow. His
What a
plan
fucking
is to collect. His plan is to collect things for what's known as a Dark Heart ritual. The Dark Heart ritual is a thing that will, once planted and the incantation is said, will attract demon lords to the central point where it is. placed.
stuff.
Doesn't actually summon them magically. It just transports. It just gives them a signal that
Like
a
Demon
beacon.
Lord is there. I hate that, and they all get that at once because Demon Lords
Oh, yeah,
hate
yeah.
each other and they fight
Ooh.
with each other.
It's that guy. Let's go kick his ass.
Yeah!
Let's go kick each other's
We
ass.
had to
and
build the
let's go
beef
kick each other's
machine.
ass. So
Yeah, the beef machine.
to get such items, you need to go to a couple different places. One of them including a place called the Labyrinth and one place called the Worm Writings. Among some smaller items you could have picked up anywhere else in the Underdark.
Yeah, what was the one place we didn't go to? It was like Dead Dragon's Gorge.
The Dragon's Gorge was one of the areas you could have gone to for stuff.
stupid.
What was in there?
Just a boss rush or a high level demon rush, like a Baylor was there.
Ah.
And you could have gotten
No
to it.
dead demons?
Ah.
What do you got?
We
What?
couldn't
A
have used
Baylor's
the whip.
whip.
It's like too big.
Could have gotten to Baylor's whip in a different place you guys didn't go to.
Wait. Shrinks.
Does it?
It's a magic item. It does.
And there's this whole thing with like these jade spiders that were like cool. You could have gotten control of one of them. It's not in the book, but I looked up Forgotten Realms lore and that stuff's there. So I'm like, I'm gonna throw that in there if they want to throw that.
Yeah, was this part of the trip where we fought that one really cool demon that sucked out our max HP?
No, well that was on the way out of the Worm Writings.
Out. That's right.
This is
yes.
where we fought the purple worm and Petra.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Petra
Rest in
ends
peace,
up. Actually, before that, Petra ends up dying from something else, from this shadow magic, and getting resurrected as an undead reborn.
Yeah.
At some point, I can't remember when that happens. It doesn't really
It
matter.
happens around Graven Hollow.
And
Yeah.
she came back as Cat.
Yes. This being known as Cat. A different personality or something within Petra and the book, and this whole book that she had with her.
And she made yaoi of everyone.
Yes.
Oh, the porn.
What happens though in the word writings is that you guys end up first fighting a beholder and grabbing materials for the Dark Heart first. What?
That was great.
We fought a beholder.
I said, what do you mean?
Adagio did not.
I fell to the Fire of Despair.
The beholder
I got to
fight
attack
was
once
first,
and then I
I'll
also
say that.
fell.
That was when I think that was when I started doing the like sitting on
Drinking
my
Mai Tais?
Yeah, drinking
Yeah.
Mai Tais and just shooting.
So yeah, beholder fight ensued. Everyone got out okay. You got what you needed from that. I'm not gonna go into the crazy
That's where we
details.
found Luke's parents.
Yep, we find Luke's parents and
With no
a
eyes.
multitude of over 100 different slaves the beholder had. He was getting them from Enzo Baranzan with a deal with the Drow.
I just want to point out my favorite play of Luke for the campaign was when he saves Lav from being petrified by physically moving her into the beholder's eye ray.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the anti-magic cone.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, Luke's parents are found. They are eyeless. And so is every slave that the
No
beholder has.
eyes?
They are eyeless.
Eyeless parents.
Parents
Because
with no
the
eyes.
beholder was known as an eyemonger.
Eyes with no parents.
And he grafted other eyes onto him to give him more powerful stocks or
That's what a little
more rays.
regeneration can't fix.
Anyways, then you guys end up fighting a purple worm place. Finding a purple worm hatchery where you found a dark elf lady who was trapped, a child, I should say. She's like 12, 13 years, 14 years old, known as Hannah Hallen. And her...
The Purple Worm Commander.
Purple Worm Commander.
Like greatest nemesis.
I mentioned it because I remember that you liked that part. So you end up...
I hope she comes back.
She ended up being a integral part in
She's probably
being
not.
somewhat allied with certain parts of the Drow because you end up returning her to her mother, which is an egg hunter within the Drow, and she's like reluctantly like, "Thank you," because she's never had to deal with this before.
Right, because the Drow went there to get purple worm venom.
But they eggs.
Eggs.
Oh, the eggs.
But they get out of dodge once shit gets start rumbling and rustling.
Right.
And you guys have to end up fighting purple worms because one of the things you need for the Dark Heart is an egg from the purple worms.
Right.
So you guys end up fighting some purple worms. Petra ends up dying in the conflict.
Cat.
A cat.
Yeah,
Petra
she
slash
turned into like
cat.
this weird shadow demon.
Yeah. Shadowfell magic has also been permeating certain parts of the Underdark, unrelated to the
I wonder
the
why.
demons.
I bathed my bow in the blood and
We'll-
I christened it with.
Hold on.
We'll get to that. We'll get to
I thought that
that.
was all part of it.
That was
No,
not
no, that was-
no. Something about purple worms.
Well, no, I put my bow
Oh.
in the blood, in the purple worm blood, and that's when I named it
you
worm
did,
feather.
yeah, you did do that.
Oh, that's right, because it was WORM.
Yeah, for
Oh yeah,
first.
it's actual
First.
worm.
Yeah.
And then the whole room collapses, but you do retrieve your egg. You're able to get out of dodge. On the way back, you find the Navasu demon, which sucks up your HP, and it's
I got
fucking
sucked
crazy.
hard, dude.
It's a crazy demon. Anyways, you guys flee from that as well.
We couldn't have won that fight.
Not really.
Yeah.
I don't remember if you go back to Vizeron's place or not.
We wanted to collect everything before we
In
went
one
back
go.
to Vizeron.
Okay, then you go.
Because we didn't trust with giving him parts of
Right,
it.
because Petra was gone at that when we got to the labyrinth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get to the labyrinth. Let me think here.
That's also where we found the maze engine.
You end up seeing, or at least some of the party ends up seeing a character known as, what was the name?
Don't we see Inogu entering this thing?
Hold on, no. Before you
Yeah,
get
we opened the door and
before you guys
right
get
there.
to the labyrinth,
Take
there's
a
a
shit.
character known as Asase.
Yes.
That
yeah.
was a surfacer that worshipped Elistray and was related to Drow, which was very confusing for Fel, because he'd never heard anything like this before. Unfortunately, canonically, that ended up to be a hallucination from Fel.
Made manifest somehow.
Yes.
Madness.
It's kind of thing how the spell, like, say, phantasmal force makes you believe things are happening even if they're not, even if it doesn't make sense like that. You
Yeah.
rationalize it the best way you can.
Yeah.
A weird combination of demon madness and Shadowfell magic.
Which is weird because I never failed to save.
Yep.
That plus Fell's emptiness syndrome.
More like his mother's. Anyways. You guys make it to the labyrinth. Crash takes a big fall in one of the combats and almost dies.
Oh, you feel like what was it, like
I was
120
knocked
feet?
out. I was almost fucking dead.
Oh, you fell.
Dead. Yeah.
Very far.
Yeah.
And then,
Lav
ran
ran like
like
1,000
you guys
miles
get
an
into
hour.
another combat inside of this labyrinth, and then when the panels do, like the whole labyrinth does move, when the panels went boop boop behind a rotating door, and you never saw her again.
Yeah.
Well, not until later.
And then, well, not until you get a hint of where she could be later.
We should probably learn at some point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Lastly, you guys go through this labyrinth, end up finding a area with Yinogu, the Null Demon Lord, fighting a Garithro demon. You need a demon's blood for this ritual. You end up scooping that up after Yinogu runs away.
We took it off of his horn.
You took up his horn.
Because he stabbed Yinogu.
Yeah, and if you killed the Yinogu and you sent back the abyss, all his blood's gone, all pieces of him would be gone, so you need to keep him alive, but still have his blood. Yinogu's blood, sorry, yeah, not the Garithros. So you
okay, so had we managed to follow him and kill him,
you would have to get a different demon.
we would have fucked the plan
You
up.
knew you had to get a different demon one.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
It says if they fuck that up, they're on their own to get something else in the book. Then through the labyrinth,
It says fuck you guys in the
I
book.
believe you guys
Why do you
find the
desire to
source
lay
of
on
these
chairs?
mobs you
It
kept
is a
finding
foolish
through the
place to lay
Underdark.
down.
This giant celestial moth mount for these angels. This part was not recorded, unfortunately, because the laptop mic was the one recording it, and it was shit quality, so I didn't upload it.
It was also really fucking hot that day.
It was the hottest day of the year.
Wasn't it that the
Isn't that day we were all
power from the
losing our
moths-
minds?
A little bit.
What?
Wasn't it like the power of the moths could like petrify you?
Moths
Yeah.
could have this dust on their wings that they could spread around and petrify people.
We fought ourselves.
You end up fighting a madness incarnate version of yourself when you touch these statues.
They were all tied to like the demon lords, right?
Yeah, and each angel was corrupted by the demon lords, and the moth, their mouth, was smart enough to petrify them so they wouldn't infect the Underdark with this angelic, demonic, like basically an angel with the power and madness of a demon running around the Underdark is way worse than not having it running around. So she petrified them in hopes that they would just stay there and not cause much more problems. Then you guys, you did all that, you got a blessing from her that when you take necrotic damage once per long rest, you can reduce it to 0. Only once. So then, through the labyrinth, you guys end up finding the maze engine.
Yeah, my favorite
You
machine.
guys fight some demons where you get a cool scepter.
I did.
Not the party does, but
It's a surprise tool that'll come in handy later.
yeah. Then the maze engine is found.
Didn't you pull a couple of different?
Pulled it more
Yeah,
than once.
You pulled everyone.
Pulls random levers and
I started
buttons.
pulling levers and pushing buttons, and then a Modron came out and started yelling at me, so I threw him in the lava.
That's the first of the war crimes. Or the time crimes.
Oh
Time
no!
crime!
His time crime is affected by him. He gets affected by
No, Eris did 2.
Right, but
Did that really?
You did 2. You committed 2 time crimes.
You're talking about the levers and throwing the man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah!
so wait.
Felonies! Congratulations! You get to
Is
face
Eris
the consequences
felonies
of my
affected
own
on-
actions.
Hell yeah, I'm going to prison.
No.
By proxy, yeah.
Man, I
Oh,
wish I
God.
committed a time crime with the other nature boys.
You probably did.
You were an asset to
Did I?
to time crime.
Right,
Yeah.
right? Did Crash commit time crime?
Yes.
Yeah. But the thing is, you were in a.
You were complicit.
This is a bit jumping way ahead. You were in a spot where the inevitable could catch you because you didn't go forward in time like Adagio did. Once you're in the time stream, they can go. There you
Gotcha,
are.
bitch. So you escaped time crime by being
Adagio
by-
goes
by
to
Fang.
prison,
Fang,
and
yeah.
Eris is a
I ain't saying
powerful
shit.
Fang.
You're the
I ain't
freest
saying
man
shit.
in the world. You're running around in the woods.
The second you
fucking in the nature
go
jumping
into
in trees.
It was them.
All
You did this, you did that, you did this. I was guiltless.
Until the fucking inevitables fucking
All right,
produce upon
let's
your
not jump
shit.
too much ahead. Anyways, the maze engine, a very important thing in Voros lore. It's basically a. I'll say this.
Guy.
You find what you later know as the time half of the maze engine there, from a dragon. That tells
Yeah.
you that later.
Caleb, say the maze engine is Michael Caine's voice. The maze engine. No, that was bad.
The maze
Well, now you see, the beautiful thing about this is that the maze engine. I don't know. I can't do
The maze.
it.
The maze engine.
It is a device used
It's like Sean Connery.
to influence timelines and the flow of time and things of that nature. The demons are trying to get a hold of it to. You don't know what, really.
You don't know what.
To do some
even
some evil demon shit. Anyways, it is left where it is because I don't believe much. I can't remember. I don't think much comes of your interaction with it, as far as I remember.
Well, the maze
Other
engine
than-
that we found,
It was like a
we
slide.
goofed with it a little bit, but that was it.
Yeah, you goofed with it. You ended up
Yeah, Slide showed up and then just got annihilated.
Yeah, and then you ended up
it
killing the
just fell in the
Modron
lava.
that is supposed to be. Oh yeah, it was a dead Modron that was covered in spores. Or
Yeah.
fungus.
And we're like, that's sus. Throw it in the lava.
Yeah.
Mr. Electric, throw this Rotron into the deepest pits of
Now
lava.
time trap number 3.
To be
Kobe.
to be boiled in liquid
Oh, that was number two.
shit
That was number
from
two.
holy eternity.
The first one was touching shit, pulling
Right,
those
and
up.
number 2 was another one came out screaming, he threw it in the lava.
Oh.
Yeah, there was the one that was alive, and he was mad. He started slapping my hands when I was pushing buttons.
Stop it. Stop
I
it.
picked him up and I was like, "What do you guys want me to do?" And everybody's like,
Let's
I don't
throw
know,
him
just throw him in the lava.
Because I think we'd already thrown the first one in the lava, and
Yeah.
we were just like, fight.
I wasn't the one that said throw him in the lava, but I was fine with it.
Well, the Modron was covered in fungus, so we didn't.
There were two.
There was the second one. That
We'll
was
leave it to the jury.
The second one.
We are the jury.
You
are the jury.
And I
No, the
said,
jury will come
"What
up
do I want to
later.
do with this?"
No,
And somebody
please.
said, "Throw him in the lava." So like
Season
Kobe
3.
right into the lava with this,
Kobe.
this clean fade
Anyways.
shot.
On the way back out of the labyrinth, you had one more thing
There's
to
his mean
collect,
3-pointer.
which is a heart of a creature that has undergone
That's a
extreme
three-pointer.
sadness.
Right.
And you guys were eventually transported by force to basically a small domain of the Shadowfell
Oh,
I
yeah.
like that place. That was
Best
cool.
part in the fucking.
That was a good plot
called
line.
Fashdur.
It was good.
I threw someone off a cliff twice.
It was like a big.
We threw shit-
It was like a
we threw
big
people a
lava
lot.
lake with
fun.
a fake
It's easy, it does a
illusory,
lot
but
of damage.
still kind of real fortress built into it from black obsidian-like stone.
It was an intellect fortress.
Where kobolds worshipped a obsidian dragon edifice-like altar, and when they saw Koresh, they fucking jumped off and killed themselves rather than face your wrath.
Jesus fuck! I forgot about
Yep.
that. Oh
Yep.
shit!
Yep.
Because dragons and dragonkin hate the look of elves, and you had the look of an elf when you disguised yourself.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Oh my god.
So anyway,
So, anyways, you guys end up going through Fa'ashdur and fighting through all of Silbrosa's woes incarnate as sorrow-sworn entities.
Yeah.
Those were some hard fights.
They were.
I seem to recall there was a point where you, Ebey, were mentioned. It's like I managed to like suggest some of them to not like fight us for a bit. Like I said, sit in the corner and think about your life. Is
one
what
of
I
them did
said.
go to sit in the corner, which is good. That was the one where we were all excited because we're like, we're gonna make 2 arenas.
Yeah,
the
that's
paladin
right.
over here,
The
the
Vor-
paladin over here.
we made the
We'll
Voros
put the
Fight
mages
Club.
up top, and they'll just beam, and then and then the walls open, and a broom went. No.
Oh, I should mention a couple of the running gags of the season was Cream Beam or Moonbeam.
The cream, yeah, the thickness.
The mozzarella stick from the sky.
Yes.
Well, no, that's level 9. We didn't hit level 9 just yet.
Yeah.
We did a combined one, and I feel like that total
That was
at
a
least 9.
creamsicle.
We looked it up, and that's definitely not tournament legal.
Oh yeah, the 2 stacking moonbeams.
You
and
can't
the sun
stack
beam.
them.
Yeah, the orange creamsicle.
The damage doesn't stack.
Whatever. That's probably all I have
Put
in
him
my
in a
mind.
line
it's
and
canon
drag
now.
it back and forth.
You know,
Anyways,
you just get 4 of them, you drop them all
there
around.
is Dairy Beam.
It was fun.
Yogurt Beam. So you guys end up going through fighting all of Silbrosa's woes incarnate. And then you end up activating the central little gateway to the Shadowfell itself.
You know, that was the first time I really had to like think like.
You
a healer.
you had to almost choose who was gonna die.
I was like, holy fuck, I have to try.
because me and Phil both went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I force fed one of you. I forget which one.
I don't know. It was a galaxy brain play. 'Cause it saved
We had
us
a
both.
tender moment with Silbrosa.
So I'm gonna
We're not there yet.
So you guys go
Right. You had to like fly me to Fel as a giant eagle. And I had to give him like the one res
yeah,
stone that
we'll
we
get there.
had.
We'll get there.
So the party goes through the gate. They'll end up in a little demi Shadowfell little area.
God, he's so fat.
It's being chilled.
Traveling down this the upper bridge of a turret, upper tower bridge going across to a larger tower as an arena for a obsidian dragon known as Silbrosa. Silbrosa was one of the very few other dragons that was able to stay alive since the ancient times between the war between the elves and the dragons. Subrosa was, in essence, a shadow demon, or shadow dragon. That the sadness, pain, sorrow, depression, everything that was negative emotion-wise, anger, also consumed her entirely and turned her into a husk of herself. And she was able to live in the Shadowfell, unaging, undying, a mixture between an undead and still living creature, in a perpetual state of crying and melancholy and all those things. And pain. And she was able to divulge a lot of information to you guys. First of all, Warforged are not necessarily elven-made creatures. They are dragon-made creatures taken over by the elves when they invaded.
Fucking knife ears.
And Warforged are actually dragon creations that have the soul of a dead god from the future inside of them.
Hell yeah.
The god Asgarath.
As he witnesses the heat death of the universe.
As the dragons used to have the time engine, the time half of the maze engine in their possession during their reign of their empire on Voros, were able to use it to go forward in time enough to witness the heat death of the universe. The portal that led them in there, they saw their god Asgarath breathed his last request, and the breath itself flowed through the portal back into the present time when the dragons were using the engine and powered. They were able to harness that breath and power their armies with it, and that's what created the Warforged. Also, the elves were the ones to amicably have treatises and a good relation with the dragons at first, and then they poisoned / killed / burned / tortured every single dragon they could get their hands on. Child dragons, doesn't matter, everything. 1 second, let me get the music still going. Okay. Among other things, you learn that the other half of the maze engine is unknown where it is, and it is not known what kind of thing it dictates or effects it has, other than it's not timed yet because there's already a time half. I believe that's most of it. Then Subrosa bequeathed unto you one request, and that is to die an honorable death. As she fled, she feels shame and guilt that she fled from the elven war that occurred, didn't protect her people, even though she knew it was a hopeless venture. She is still guilty that she didn't go out in a blaze of glory for her people and ran away like a coward. So she asked you to end her life. She knows the demons are here because she had scouts in the Underdark, invisible little stalker guys that were all Shadowfell that were knowing about the demon lords. She knows you need her heart to stop them. And she's willing to give it to you as long as you give her an honorable fight and a warrior's death. So you do battle with her, and in the midst of the battle, a lot of close calls happen. Fell goes down at one point, and because of the breath weapon she has, your shadow becomes a creature. You rise as a shadow, basically, if you die from this effect. But the thing is, something happened where
He got revivified.
He got revivified as soon as the shadow went up, so the connection between Fel and his shadow severed, so he had no shadow.
And there was a Shadowfell in the Shadowfell.
There was a Shadowfell in the Shadowfell.
So if we had killed the Shadowfell and then res him, would he still have a shadow?
Yes.
Oh.
But because they were both alive at once.
Yeah. So the connection was cut.
Yeah.
It was a window that lasted seconds.
It was literally like
Yeah.
It was like 1 in 1,000 chance it would have happened like that. I feel
That's
like.
insane.
Okay, Fel's unique like that now.
But you're able to give Subrosa a warrior's death after a lot of her second form being really wild, and more of a emotional fight rather than a traditional one at that point.
'Twas only fitting that I laid the final blow.
Mm-hmm. And you're able to grab her heart and also grab some eggs. She promised you that you could take her eggs and
My
raise them
boys.
to be powerful, strong dragons to keep the Vor people alive in some sense. Teach them compassion, teach them how to fight, teach them how to defend themselves so they can be strong Vor like they are intended to be. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Yistil. The ring that housed his consciousness was given to Xavier, the Dark Elf, in his tower to do experiments on, to transfer it into the body of a Warforged.
He was in a docent
Sorry, docent.
for a bit, and
Transfer
then
it into...
I had the idea to transfer the docent into
Paskaresh.
Paskaresh and link their minds together, so now he controls.
Paskaresh we saw.
I forgot
at
to
the
mention
moot.
that. Yes, Paskaresh was there at the movie. I forgot to mention that.
We beat the shit out of him.
Because Koresh existed.
Ripped his face off and
with-
you're wearing it now.
If you remember, Koresh had those
Face
arrows stuck in him
off.
against a tree 400 years in the future. So when he goes back in time, he meets himself. And it is an assassin. And he works under a man named Roland Vital. And you learn that the person who ordered the exact hit on certain people around the government to make sure the elves stay in power is a man named Iskalai Peregrine.
Yeah.
Iskalai Peregrine. An elven man with
I was
tattoos on his
surprised
face.
at how much of his backstory you actually kept.
Yeah, because you had an idea you wanted to make him all political assassin.
Yeah.
So I kept most of it.
You were like, no.
There was like a halfling in a Mad Eye Moody chest at one point.
Yes. He's not
Yeah,
wrong.
It was a steering wheel assassin.
But anyways, at this point, the party definitely knows the elves are up to some shady shit.
Bells, watch yourselves.
Not the
So,
drows, just the normal elves.
so
No, them too.
No, the drows have some other bullshit.
they have everything they need for the Dark Heart. They go back to Vizeron.
There were like these weird like types of fungus we had to pick up along the way too. That we just found.
Yeah. I'm not gonna put in the detail in. It doesn't matter that much.
Fungus.
I christened my bow as Weird Fang.
Yeah. Yes.
After I
You.
buried
Yes.
it in
Your
your
shit
blood.
gets enhanced because of the
And I got an extra effect, too.
rosa stuff. Yes. And
Wormfang was not your oath bow, correct?
No. I had my oath bow and then Wormfang.
you have all the ingredients to create the Dark Heart. Vizeron says, "Fine, I will make it." And you say, "We want to go to Menzo Baranzan." I forgot the reason why specifically. Other than oh yeah, the Susser tree.
The Susser tree, as well as looking for this cult or group of people that were supposedly going under the chaos
When you
god
went
of males.
when you went towards Fort Brundle the first time, when you met Clamorak, he mentioned, "Are you with the Irilzayash?"
Right.
Which is a family or a clan or a house, an underground, not well-known house that is rumored to be fighting, building resistance and fighting against the Drow in Menzo Baranzan. Also, when we were in Graven Hollow, some of the character backstory and future quest stuff we learned was that Eris had an assignment to do, and he already knew that he had to go to this place called the Twins of the Susser. And the Susser is a type of tree that grows in the underground. But when he went to hit Graven Hollow, he saw the vision of where it is. It's in Menzo Baranzan. In the grove where they keep the leaves and they harvest them for on the tree for tea and other drinks and potions and such. So they go to Menzo Baranzan, do what they need to do. There's a whole bitch boy arc with Fel and everyone disguising themselves as Drow.
The poster.
Oh, that fuck yes, that's right.
There's a whole slave auction thing going on and a magic item shop.
God.
Derrick was my mistress.
Yeah.
We bought that. You guys fucking Grima worm tongue.
I put the
Bought that stupid.
Oh my god, that was so
We were
fun.
playing 2 levels of that where I was like a high aristocratic
Yeah.
left and you were just this fucking nasty.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I was
I was-
Fang again, but
I was
purple.
I was just a
constantly
fucking
sweating.
bodyguard. We bought that stupid axe and it gave me levels of exhaustion.
Yep.
I was
Which we
exhausted.
kept and you still have, right?
There were multiple times
I don't
where
have it,
Eris
no.
had exhaustion.
Who had the axe?
He
We
did.
threw it in the garbage.
I thought we kept
He
it
was-
so we could
no.
get it disenchanted.
No, I bet you that when I went forward in time at the maze engine, Eris is just like, oh yeah, that's right, and just fucking throws it in the lava.
I don't remember what I did with it, but I don't have it.
Anyways, you guys make your way through Menzo Baranzan, get to the Susser Grove at the very end of the city, near the farms. Eris is able to get an upgrade to his weapon.
He killed the last
But
of
he has
female
to
nature.
kill the last Susser Dryad that exists in the Underdark to do so.
The last nature woman.
Yeah.
Nature girl.
I think we were like on a time trial because there was a weird drow coming.
We had to sneak in.
Yeah.
Before you get to the thing with Fel's parents and the drow house of Torth, you would find out that the real Zayesh is a complete farce.
So a fucking idiot.
It is a people inflicted by a demon lord's madness. Fraser Blue specifically is madness.
Yeah, it was
So
so
they thought they
fucking
had a
disappointing.
cult with them or like a resistance, but it was literally just 2 or 3 people.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was so disappointed.
Ooh.
If you-
I was so
Yeah,
disappointed.
I know you're
About
gonna.
that.
You'll probably answer my question in like 2 seconds, but did we go to Menzo, leave, and then come back?
I don't
No.
think so.
No, we did everything.
Okay.
No, we
all
got to
there.
Menzo and we took everything in Menzo.
Because we had a shit ton of stuff to do.
There's
there.
a part where you guys like left like just outside the walls to do the dark heart shit at the end, and Visceron like
Yeah.
left and put it down.
Is that before or after the Kubrick stare?
I forgot to mention the Kubrick stare.
That happened in
Neverlight Grove.
Neverlight Grove.
The
Yeah.
la-
The,
when you
the
guys
return,
went
the
back-
return to Neverlight
When
Grove.
you guys went
Yeah.
back down, you guys passed through Neverland Grove.
We
for
found
a
a
This is on the way.
mysterious
This is
horse.
on the way to Menzo.
We gotta give some backstory.
Yes.
What happened?
So there's a creature in older D&D editions called the Disenchanter. It's a monstrosity, like
Otherwise cooked.
weird horse,
Stupid
with an
horse.
anteater face, like
stupid horse.
thing. And what
Otherwise
it
known
does-
as the DM petty device.
What it does is it feeds, or like it sticks this little weird elephant snout all over your items, and over time it sucks all the enchantments off of your magical items. And while Adagio was sleeping, then one of these things clopped up and started sucking on his armor, and it sucked all the magic off of his armor. And Fel had a fine steed spell, which he had a panther, very similar to Drizda Orden, unfortunately.
Wasn't the plan.
I know. But I liked the panther
I would have went wolf, but it would have been
on the nose.
yeah.
Yeah, and also Amarok.
Yeah.
I
So
think the Panther is still a cool
I am a
choice.
wolf.
No, it's-
Caleb,
it's
as
a little spoiler.
Adagio, was like, you know what? Fuck this thing. This isn't a nature. This isn't a beast. This
Didn't
is a
change alignments at
monster.
all.
This is a
for this.
monster. So he let
nature take its
he let nature take its course, and the panther that Fel had summoned while he was asleep, when Fel was asleep, Adagio let Celine, the panther, completely rip to shreds this fucking disenchanter thing, who is
To
basically
shreds, you say.
defenseless,
you
and
say.
it
trusted
doesn't
me.
have anything that it can do to harm other than its hooves, like a
I'm
ghost.
Well, you
surprised we
didn't
didn't.
say what it did.
Like I'm surprised we didn't.
It sucked his armor.
Yeah.
It
Okay,
disenchanted his
No,
armor.
he said that.
Yeah, I did.
Like I'm surprised we didn't hear any screams.
Because I think you guys failed to save or something.
Well, I think you were asleep, but you were also in the dome.
Yeah.
I was in my.
I think it was the dome.
I was in my makeshift cone.
I
think Luke's parents heard me.
Luke's parents and I also.
You were with me. I brought you with me.
I turned around. I was-
Yeah, you turned your back on
Did
me.
you
in
take
shame.
it and Celine to a corner? Is that what happened?
Yes.
Oh
He
fuck!
said, "Celine, come with me. I have something
And
for
that's
you."
the
I've got some
This.
food.
The Kubrick stare
The one
Adagio
commission-
picture.
Every
That's the picture
time you
for,
look at that
D&D
picture,
Beyond
you
now.
have to
Good, it
imagine
needs
that
to
there
be.
is a defenseless
A
beast being
slaughter.
torn apart by a panther on the other side.
Yes, that's in.
Now, let me ask you. When I got that armor, we got 2 items, right?
I believe so. Oh yeah, back in season 1, near the beginning, you guys got some of your
broken
armor
armor.
enchanted from a temple.
Yeah. So I got my armor, and Chance got his bow.
Yeah,
My armor got fucking wrecked. What happened to Chance's bow?
it's still there.
It got buffed.
It got buffed to high hell.
No, see that's the
Plus
that's the-
3 bone,
yeah.
maybe plus 15
That's
to hit.
that's a plus when you're boning the DM.
Caleb, I could tell you that I rolled on a table to see which party member get affected, but I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, you went after that dex advantage.
It could
And
not have
honestly,
been
that's
more
not even that bad
obvious.
of a fucking thing anymore.
Huh?
That's not even that bad, like OP of an item anymore.
I know. That's mainly why I was
It's
pissed. I was
not
like, it's not even good.
It's mostly
But,
just
but out of
funny.
everybody
It's
in the
just-
party, you still have like the best shit.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways,
You killed the purple worm in like 2 hits.
the dark. You guys are in Menzo Branson. Sorry, we're going back to the thing. We're getting close to the end. You guys are in Menzo Branson.
Are you getting close?
You guys end up infiltrating the Torth House because there is a carnival going on around the city with different houses parading and showing off and flaunting their power. And slaves and able to choreograph their slaves to do things like dance and whatever. And build things for the floats and stuff. So, is infiltrate Torth. You also get a half-orc slave. You free her named Naz.
I
and take
loved
her with her.
Naz.
Oh yeah,
She's
yeah,
a waller.
yeah.
That's right.
Didn't we throw her at the boss?
Something like that.
She wanted to fight, and I said, "All right,
She's
sure."
like, fuck these drow, I want to kill them.
Because we saved her from the auction.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saved her from the auction. And they're like, you're gonna round her? And you're like, no. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And they're like, why? And you're like,
Fuck you.
Hey!
Hey, fuck you.
Anyways, vastly, you guys enter the Torth house. Eventually, make your way through, sneaking quite well through. And
Well, half of them were sneaking through.
Yeah.
What was the other half doing?
Operation Green Goblin.
Yeah, the epitome of all nature.
I almost don't want to explain what that is, even in the recap. Fuck that.
No,
But it was incredible. You have to.
Okay.
You have to. That's a
So
pinnacle.
Eris had a spell scroll of
Hold on.
Best
Let him
Stone.
get to the port.
It's the best
part
Church Stone.
Vesture Stone. Yeah.
I mean, you guys are kind of there.
Okay, so but hold on. So while Fel, Luke, and I believe that and Naz and another character, I forget who they were all traveling in through the buildings of House Torth.
Yeah.
We eventually got to a room where Fel's mother was being dicked down by two demon boys.
Yep.
Yeah, it was gross.
Dragloths. These weird drow demons.
We proceeded to start a fight while the Nature Boys were enacting Operation.
You didn't start that fight. You had you were talking to her.
Right. Yeah,
He started the fight.
we were getting to the beginning of the fight, and then Operation Green Goblin happened, where you guys,
So we had Eris read the spell scroll from Vesture Stone that allows you to surf through the.
Well, you're
stone.
starting
The
too late.
reason the reason we were outside at all was because we found gargoyles on the roof, and we were like, "That's a problem. We'll distract them."
Yeah.
We didn't even.
And then while we were deciding that we could distract them, I thought, I have this scroll I'm not using. I'll turn it on, and I'll fall through the roof because I can move through stone.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
And
and
then
then I did that.
the fact that I knew which
And then-
building it was.
and then on the
I thought you
outside.
turned into like a
There
giant
was only
eagle.
one.
No, I turned into a giant hawk, specifically
hawk.
a
It was
black hawk.
It was like a castle, like a keep.
I thought
Or
you
like
turned into a
mansion,
giant black hawk.
And there was one central big, like, square
Yeah.
shaped
Yeah.
building.
I was on
They were
top
just
of him
going-
like.
he was just
Like the
going
Green
through each
Goblin.
layer until he found the one with your mom in it. And was,
What's that?
You said I went through the like 2 layers of roof, and then there was like a 120-foot drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went through. I was like,
Yeah, we flew around for like a couple of rounds of combat
Yes.
before we're like, wait a minute, we didn't get to be out
Yeah,
here.
we had a swarm of gargoyles fly after us. It was like the scene in the Matrix Revolutions when the ship is on its way back to Zion and there's the horde of sentinels behind it.
Fuck you,
It was literally
dude.
that.
That's what happened.
So, combat ensues.
And then we got sucked inside a mushroom.
There was a lot of, you really.
I think you flew in. I went in to a mushroom.
Because I think you made us make deck saves to like latch onto it, and even though I was armorless, I made the save. And then he had to wait like another round because I think he failed his first save.
Yeah.
Anyways, combat ensues. Eldra, your mother, Eldra Torth, was talking something about, glad to see you home, but you're obviously here for combat, whatever, you hate me.
Yeah, you're a bitch.
Yep, so they fight. During the fight,
Someone else was there too.
someone else, 2 people were there.
Yeah.
One man named Daemonium Maslin. He was a character associated with Luke's backstory,
Also a bitch.
who,
You red bitch.
who more or less,
Spell's dad.
well, we don't know.
Rumored to be Fel's
Yeah.
paw.
Basically, Daemonium showed up. He was the guy who fucked over Luke and threw him in the Underdark in the first place.
Oh, man.
And my parents.
And he fucked over your parents. And he was the one who made the big deal with the Beholder to for the Drow to trade slaves back and forth, and he ended up having your parents go with the Beholder and all that stuff. So Daemonium was there, and he did not have this devil power. He was trying. That in Gravenhall, you learned he was trying to get Asmodeus to bless him with this power, and he's trying to do everything he can to appease this devil. What do you call him? Not devil lord. This archdevil.
He had something.
But when you ended up seeing him, you learned that this archdevil denied him because he wasn't evil enough. So
Wasn't quite good or strong enough.
he
Didn't suck
found
his dick quite
he
good
found a
enough.
secondary option, an option which was to make a pact with Megira, the thing that powers Fort Verundar. And he had that colorful flame, the pink, yellow, and blue flame with him.
That's for something a little bit later.
Yeah. And then, who else showed up? The Brixis Torth, Fel's sister.
Oh, yeah.
modified.
Or like bitches Torth.
Modified
She's gross.
to be stuffed Freddy Fazbear style, I guess, into a
Not wrong.
giant
The
mechanical
metal-
spider.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That was Sal's saddest moment.
I didn't think she was stuffed. I thought she was the spider.
No, she was like, her body parts were rearranged to be fit in that.
Yeah,
thing.
Oh,
it was.
Her
fuck.
molecules were all rearranged.
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah, no, yeah.
No.
He's a ghost.
Yeah, no, that was Fel's saddest.
Danny
fucking
Ghost.
moment.
There you go.
She's a ghost.
She's a
Yeah.
spider.
And so you were able to overcome this great. That was one of the harder fights and the longest fights in the whole season. But after that was all done, Fel and the rest of the crew were able to, by some fucking miracle, convince the rest of House Torth guards to just say, "Go, leave. Demons are coming here."
Just fucking.
And they go.
Didn't
I
Fel
want-
roll
I
like
want-
a 30
Well,
something,
it's not
40
No,
something?
I fucked that
No,
roll.
you rolled like a 17. Like,
Yeah.
just barely managed to convince
I
them.
just,
Yeah,
I just
no.
almost want to point out, it's like I think,
I think we did juice him though.
like I think you're right. This is probably the strongest party we've ever had, not just in combat. We had juiced up skills
Yeah.
the whole fucking way.
Yeah, like I could roll a 30, but I used my channel divinity in the fight.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And so I ended up rolling low, despite the fact that as my paladin being an Oath of Redemption, persuasion was really high, but I rolled really fucking low. So I convinced the members of Haltor to leave, but I couldn't convince them to join Elistray.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're able to do one of the two things you want.
Cad?
So, after that, you're able to get away scot-free, leaving Menzo Baranzan. At least out to the right to the outside of the walls, where Vizwan's is ready.
Sweaty.
Sweaty and ready, with the dark
Because he was
heart.
also getting infected by
He
maggots
was
at the time.
he was having a hard time
Like, he was
concentrating on the magics to keep
Yeah,
it
no.
like alive.
Yeah, he was holding the magic.
The incantation to be ready. It was way overcharged because the heart you gave him was way too strong.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We can,
That's why it was hard for him to keep it together.
yeah.
He didn't give us a sadness dosage to look for.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
because he didn't know where to look for
Find
that
out
shit.
sad heart. Right.
Okay, we'll find the saddest heart ever made.
So, oh yeah, what you learned, by the way, why the Demon Lords are here. I forgot to mention this in the recap here. The Demon Lords are here because a different man named Gromp Bainra tried to summon
Of House
Lolth
Bainra.
to...
Grump.
What?
Of House Bane, right?
Yeah, Gromp Bainra of House Bainra. Tried to summon Lolth to Menzo Baranzan as an act of devotion and some weird fucking idea of his. But what he accidentally did was he summoned demons, which is what Lolth wanted all along.
Yeah, because she wanted to get him out.
Because so that when the demons were out of the abyss, she was able to take over their areas.
When the demons were what?
Out of the abyss!
It's the name of the book!
Yeah, no, Lolth crossed up the demons on the court and threw them out of the abyss.
I guess you could say out of the abyss is just a quote from Lolth. I want them out of the abyss. No,
I want pictures of Spider-Man!
That's the next one.
that's Lolth,
Pictures of
Lolth's
Spider-Man.
brother, Balth. No,
Well, Jesus Christ.
So anyways, with the demon lords out of the abyss, Lolth is able to take their domain for herself and have demons under her command was the idea that she wanted to do. Learn this all in Graven Hollow beforehand. So Gromp Bainra's journal is what Vizeron used to create the same ritual, but to alter it in a way to make it so the demons would come together and fight each other instead of being an attractant for Lolth. So the Dark Heart was placed in the Menzo Baranzan. All the demons, as it was an overcharge thing, didn't walk to it. They were summoned directly to it.
Yeah, it was placed in the Drow Starbucks coffee tower.
Yeah.
Just instead of a mermaid, it's a spider
Sure.
with legs doing this.
Yeah.
Fine.
And the battle ensued. And you guys all got to play different demon lords.
That was so fun.
Oh yeah, and the battle was won by retarded gay grass.
Yeah. We could just...
Because he got put on that dumb thing.
You're the one that turned him retarded.
Out peer pressure, okay? You guys are like, make him retarded.
What are you? That retarded so cast feeble mind on him.
We might have
No.
said that.
But
Was it
It's
like?
fine, I wouldn't
I
kill
think
him
you
when we
said
were
you were
done.
so shocked that I did that you forgot that he still had legendary resistances.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, because it was
yeah.
Demogorgon that did
I was playing as Demogorgon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Demogorgon did it, but then we had all dick, no head grats
It's because I forgot I had the spell for like 4 or 5
Yes.
rounds, and he kited me enough that he was able to finish me with a single hit afterwards.
Yeah. Oh.
It's too bad the Demon Lord, the Demon Lord I was playing had all the saves for its spells were the ones the Demon Lords were great at.
Yeah.
So I was just attacking. I survived pretty far.
He's got a lot of health.
You were
I think-
Fraser Blue, right?
Yeah.
Like, I figured you would have had a fucking super high level spell at some point, and you just never casted it for so long. For so long, and then when you finally figured
Yeah,
out,
I had
oh,
Feeble
shit,
Mind.
'cause
I had Feeble Mind,
I
Caleb.
think I convinced myself that you didn't have one, because you never used it until that moment.
Yeah.
Until I look back at my little sheet, it's like, I lived used this the whole time.
Anyways.
That's funnier that way.
Unbeknownst to the players, the Jewablex that arrived wasn't actually Jewablex, but the same pudding that flooded Bligdenstone was the one that was there. So the real Jewablex was somewhere else. But that didn't matter at the time. So,
Yeah, it's black.
as far as the party was concerned, every Demon Lord other than Zugmoy had been
Sent back.
sent back to the Abyss. The reason Zugmoy wasn't there is because she got her memories from the future in the past when Stool got absorbed, so she knew this was
Yeah, she
what
said,
happened
"Fuck that,
before.
I ain't
so
going."
she's not like, I'm not going back to that again. I know better. This has happened already in my mind.
You're not going to take me back to prison!
I'm going to have my fucking wedding that I
I don't
deserve.
know what you want.
How many times do you guys think we're going to be done in prison soon, 3?
Well, I'm going into prison immediately.
Time prison.
I'm starting in jail.
Are you actually?
Maybe.
We'll talk about it. So,
I'm really excited for
Yeah,
season 3, actually. I'm
gonna be
excited to
fun.
see what one plays.
Yeah.
So, with all the Demon Lords and Zugmoy, as far as the party was concerned, it was time to move southward towards where Ramakos is. Ramakos.
You forgot to mention Magillus earlier.
Yo, how long has this been going on?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's like 11:30.
Yeah, let's speed it.
So,
We're
If we
already
stop
in.
making jokes, it'd be faster.
Hey, you're making jokes too.
I just said if we.
Okay.
we get to Aramikos. As soon as you guys enter, you find a lady there that the Bligdenstone team found on their way to Bligdenstone. It was a mushroom merchant that said that she was going to Aramikos. But the thing is, the Bligdenstone team had no idea that was Adagio's mission at the time. So they couldn't have informed him where that was until it was too late, and they were already on different sides of the map at the time when you learned about that, I think.
What's her name? Magillus?
Magillus.
Magillus.
And she was a little mushroom merchant. Nothing special. So what happened was, though, she had perished there because Orcus was the one taking over Aramikos for the longest time. The dead fungus and rotting caves of the of such mushroomy rotting fungus caves were perfect for Orcus to find a home there with the all necrotic energy. But since the Dark Heart Ritual went off without much of a hitch, the Orcus was banished, so they can go to Ramakos freely. And what they found was Magillus the Mushroom Merchant. She perished not too long ago, so Daju decided to use his one use of reincarnation on her.
I breathed on her really hard.
And what happened was, he was all waiting.
Yeah, she woke up to my hot breath.
She woke up as not Magillus, but as Charlotte Thresk, the same person from the first episode.
Didn't this happen after the Zuckmo fight?
No.
No.
No. Okay.
This was right before.
It was just before.
Yes. Charlotte Thresk was reborn from this Magillus person, and that's another crime. Because she was not supposed to be born.
My wife is a felony?
Yep.
You made your wife.
That's
a
crime
felon.
number 3 or 4. I'll say 3 for now. And Darin was the name of Senor's half
Yes.
guy. So the time apprentice wizard. Charlotte Thresk was revived. She was not normally supposed to be born here. She was supposed to be born in the Bloodmoor. And she was not supposed to be 400 years in the past. So that was something interesting that you were freaked out about. And then the last session happened, which was the inner Aramikos fight. I won't go through the details because we're getting really short on time. But I will say
That fight also didn't get recorded.
it did. Not the final bit of it, but most of it did. Not the thing that finished her off. So, Zugmoy had her wedding. but the party who got a blessing from her earlier on in Everlight Grove when they met up with her and the whole stool absorption, everything, they got a blessing called Shroom Stride where they could use the Treat Stride ability with only mushrooms.
Except for Fel.
Except for Fel because he didn't take it, which is perfect actually. I forgot to mention, Fel, when you were in, I believe it was either Menzo Branson or earlier, you got a blessing from Elistray that let you, it's a song.
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
clears of all impurities. Any certain amount of creatures that you can see within a range of you.
Yep.
It's just a super cool like crossing of the streams.
Yeah.
Everything's
It's just the way it
out
happens.
just
That
the right way.
didn't come into play until this final battle, where the guys who did the Shroom Stride
Clutch.
Yeah.
went and ended up into Aramikos' mind, astral projecting into and seeing Aramikos. He was sleeping. You woke him up. He was basically being date raped by by Zuckmoy to be wed by force.
Just like women
So she
do.
can absorb, so she can absorb her power back as she thinks she rightfully deserves.
Shotgun wedding.
So Fel's the only one actually tending the real wedding, as the rest of them are astral projecting in Aramikos' brain.
I thought I was a pretty chill guy.
Yeah, Aramikos is cool.
Yeah.
He
I'll see you guys
was
later.
the one who was making the amber arbors the color that they are, and why the area around Kalangar is so fertile for growing crops is this giant decomposing fertilizer that is Aramikos itself is creating on the surface a perfect breeding ground for soil and vegetables, fruits, grains, things like that. Anyways, Zuckmoy won't let anyone interrupt her wedding. She is going off swimmingly in her mind so far, except when she realizes that Aramikos is being hijacked in his brain. She goes in, she astral projects herself, she can meld, in a way, herself at will into Aramikos' mind, sees you all there, interrupting her time, trying to cut out pieces of Zuckmoy that is infecting Aramikos' mind. At the same time, Juablex, the Demon Lord of Fungus and of Ooze and Slimes, the Demon Lord of Ooze and Slimes, busts in the wedding, crashes the place. Zuckmoy can't believe that he's still alive because the Dark Heart was supposed to stop that, but it backfired, and Juablex is still around. So the wedding gets crashed, Aramikos gets saved, Zuckmoy gets banished, and Juablex is the final boss.
What happens to Zuckmoy?
Zuckmoy at the very end holds out a perfect illusion of what is Buttercup to Adagio and says, if you help me at this last effort, I will give you this back. And
I think Luke dispelled the illusion.
It turns into a gray mush of fungus. And it was an illusion the whole time. And
we were just like, nah, fuck you, bitch, get 8.
And then she says, well, then you don't deserve to live. And then she snaps her fingers, and everyone who took the gift of the Shroom Stride is basically a germinating seed inside them that just finally sprouts and infects their whole nervous system.
I heard that it affected me, even though you wouldn't let the rapport spores affect me either.
It's a weird situation. Where it's more magic than biological.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
So it basically turns you into spore servants at a snap of her fingers as she gets absorbed into Juablex.
Very cinematic, very video game.
You are all spore servants except for Fel, who didn't take the gift.
It's a good way to end a fight.
And that's where it comes in clutch that he has that song that dispels all impurities. Unfortunately, the side effect of that is that you would gain exhaustion.
Big sleep.
But Illustrate, watching over you this time, sees this.
Gave him a little reach around.
And the exhaustion doesn't take effect until you take a short rest.
Love her.
And then the other effect that happens is that everyone who got that blessing from the giant celestial moth goes away because that was it removes all impurities and other blessings from other celestials at the same time.
Rest in peace. Moth blessing.
And that was
Never
enough
used
to
it once.
get the party back to their faculties full brunt. Let's kill Jewelblex, and you guys end up doing it in a cool way that, fortunately, the recording got cut out at the time. But you use the same scepter you got when you fought the demons in the maze engine. Mulvasi's the scepter. You got her scepter, and you used that maze. What was it called? What was
It's called Divine Word.
Divine Word, and you made it
Oh,
look
that's
like a
right.
maze with cleavers coming out or whatever.
Yeah, I know. I slap chop Jewelblex.
Yeah, into like a billion pieces. He gets banished to the abyss. All demon lords are gone from Voros. And
We become the heralds of a new age.
become the heralds of news. Statues are made in the herald's honor of everyone except for Petra and Lab, unfortunately, because they were not the ones to come out alive. The ones that came out alive were the ones to get that honor.
And we hide our involvement of every atrocity.
But we did make paintings and statues for them.
Julieta becomes the new crowned queen of Fort Verunthar of the
Hell yeah.
dwarves of the north.
Hell yeah.
You tell Nicoria Irelian about
Season 1.
season 1 and what the fuck you had to deal with.
Yeah, this Papakele guy is gonna fucking blow up this island, so maybe let's
Yeah,
Don't let them do it.
Yeah.
put someone on that.
Yeah.
Probably now.
And the epilogue happens. You guys all get the highest honor you can
The soldiers
in
with
the
the really long
Voros. Both Voros and Dwarven customs, you're given the highest honor you could ever possibly have. You were given a deed to a keep called Zenzor Castle that you renamed to Silveros' gift.
Yeah.
Then, finally, Endarin, the man who is Osenor's, Silmifi Osenor, who built the Osenor Academy of Arcane Arts, his understudy, who studies time magic, that Osenor, the gnome himself, thinks is a waste of time, and scolds him for divulging a lot of his time into such wasteful magics. He decides to help you out. He has a goal in mind, Dajio, to bring you back to your time. Koresh is okay with staying with the Estill, who's in a Warforged body, and becoming an emissary of peace between other Warforged who find themselves in
displaced.
situations, and also becomes what's called starts a faction known as the Drake Wardens because of what Silbrosa meant to him.
And also that class was UA at the time, so.
Yeah.
Based.
Exciting.
Yeah.
And Darn helps. Everyone has a little fun adventure back in the Underdark, back to the Maze Engine, because Darn needs that as a spell component for his spell.
Everyone who can is just fucking raw dogging their wives for like 3 months.
Yeah. Azalith stays with Fel.
Hell yeah.
Had naked moments on the roof of Fort Verunthar.
Yep. Let me think. What else
Exactly.
happens?
If the moon exists, it's happening.
Eris, every time he gets to Fort Verunthar, gets cured of his blueness every time he
Yeah.
He's just perpetually
Why so blue,
It
Sean?
happened more than once,
technically-
but it's weird that
You fucking blue midget, you smurf.
There is eternally the possibility that Eris will become blue because I was a wild magic sorcerer.
That's
by the end of the
right.
Campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were infected by the phase risk.
Yeah.
Luke and his parents end
It's really
up
cool
following
when you did that.
Fel
I think it was-
back to
I
the
think it was
castle.
elaborate.
And I believe Eris should go there
I
too.
wish I had
And
done wild
correction
magic sorcery
sense.
earlier though.
To essentially like help with the herald and the castle and all that stuff. And Adagio regenerates their eyes among with many other slaves that were grabbed from the Beholder's lair that made it to the surface in Fort Verunthar. So, Endarin helps.
Oh wait, and I also like
Ooh.
put Zalpa on the ground and pull her up like a root.
Yeah, I didn't even mention her. It's fine.
Yeah, there was a whole thing with
formed
the
a
monks.
mercenary
Yeah.
group.
I mean,
So,
yeah, there's adventures
Endarin
guild for
helps
us
you
now.
get to your timeline by using the Maze Engine as a spell component for
So
a spell
nothing bad
that
happened to
he
them
was
ever in the next
experimenting
40
on and
years.
trying to learn.
I mean, you had nothing to do with them anyway.
I was there.
The spell goes off because the Modron you needed is gone, so Endarin had to be that Modron, basically.
What happened?
Kobe.
Adagio is able to walk through.
I don't have
Oh, yeah,
that
Charlotte.
The smooch.
You smooch, and she said she was gonna wait for you to come back since she was reborn as a Fey being.
An archfey.
No,
No?
just a Fey being,
Hmm.
known as a what were they called?
It was like
Lenon Sheed.
they're like muses basically,
They're
right?
muses for artists.
Yeah.
And they also have something to do with
That's
children,
quite enough. What
which
she
you
was.
learned in the Eris one shot.
Yeah, talk about that after this.
I don't think I want to.
It's been recorded.
It's recorded.
It's
It's
up
there.
It's a shorter one than nobody's watching the whole series. Anyways, Adagio waves goodbye to his friends, takes his turban off,
Bald.
He did that months
I'd already
ago.
had the turban
Yeah.
off, but I just dropped it.
dropped it, and you walk through this.
So my wife can smell my head
Yeah.
when she misses me.
You walk through this time portal.
Time crime number 6.
What the fuck am I gonna do with this, you bum? Ugh.
It smells like Underdark sweat.
It smells like pomade and shea butter.
I've got prestidigitation. I never used it on the turban. Not once.
So it stinks.
It stank.
Ooh,
You walk
got to
through-
that good stank.
You walk through the time
Smells like
portal
Head and
Dawn
Shoulders.
creates. You start going forward in time, back to your time that you are supposed to be in.
And I'm like, wow, I'm so happy to be going back to a very
You have
comfortable
violated
place.
the law.
And then,
Boy, I love my life.
and then all of a sudden, the flow stops, and you go backwards. You go backwards, past where you were. Go back and back and back and back.
To the
and
heat
back.
of
Part of End's theme with the clock ticking
Yeah.
starts playing.
And you end up in an ancient form of the same cavern. No maze engine. No lava, even, where the maze engine usually is. The time engine, whatever you call it, usually is.
And I'm being held by the scruff of my neck.
You have the scruff. You are on the ground, prone, and this thing is standing over you.
It'll own you, dude.
A metallic creature made of golden bands of metal with with its head being a hourglass that is the sand is flowing upward,
That ain't right.
upside down.
That sounds like a time crime to me.
You don't even have to make a check because this thing is law incarnate and like a great judge of character. It gives you the information that this is a creature known as an inevitable, specifically a creature known as a Korut, an inevitable that dictates time. So
It tells you to spell Ico.
and that is the end of season 2.
I think you said that exact same joke.
That was the same time. That was the end of season 2, where we will pick up in season 3, where Kaleb is charged for his chronocide.
Yeah, crime.
I don't want to play anymore.
Too bad.
And that's
Also
the
the-
recap from the in
Also,
in
the
a
arrow-
nutshell. It's hours long, but I mean
It's
that's.
better than watching 12 hours of like.
The arrows one shot happened and he's my dad.
Way more than 12 hours.
And you fought some like frozen
became-
drow bitch.
I became some kind of moose-themed archfey or something. I don't know.
Other than that, the only other things I want to mention are the 3 conquerors of Voros that you learned about from
Yes.
Silvrosa, the ones that kicked off the whole Elven invasion.
Those are 3 different types of elves, right?
Yeah, there were the drow, the wood elf, and the high elf. The high elf was named.
I thought the
Thezrin.
drow broke off a little bit. Like, we don't want to do this.
Yes, I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
The high elf was Thezrin the artist. He was a mage. The wood elf was Elikara Shea the huntress. She was a like a nature magic ranger type, and there was Saralta, the
It's just a living truck.
warrior woman.
Basically,
drow.
yeah.
Yeah.
The tale goes, as you all learned, is that there was a thing called the Fair and Sapphire.
Yeah, it really is.
And this is related to similar other like things that you had to do with the Hokathasia Ruby and the Courts of Kalangar.
Yeah.
There was a Fair and Sapphire, mined from the mountains, that then now called the Sapphire Mountains because it was the thing where they found it. It was passed down from different elf the 3 different elf groups over a period of a few years to dictate who is the leader of, like, it's a cycle. Like, oh, now it's the 13 years or whatever of the wood elves to lead, and that's the next one, and the next one, and it loops around. And this is an area that the Vor people, the dragons, gave to the elves as a gift of their amicable relationship with one another. They gave them the Fair and region, said, this land can be yours if you want, because we are so
Fucking based.
so tight with each other before this war happened.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And as the saying goes, or as the tale goes, Saralta was greedy. She kept the sapphire for herself, and never let it go until war broke out between them, a civil war. Saralta was the one who did not. It did not end well for her, but she was not killed. Her and her drow were banished to the north of Farron in what was known as the Revenant Tundra, an area known for its blistering cold. But since they were compassionate and Sorasa was still one of the three that was very, important to them, they made a vow to give her and every one of her drow followers that continued to follow her a tabaxi fur coat to survive the winter. So they went out on a slaughter and they killed all the tabaxi. This is not in the normal notes, but it is what you learned from Graven Hollow's visions and stuff. In the normal tale, people tell the tabaxi aren't a part of it, but you learned this in your season 2 characters. Every single drow, as far as the tale says, followed Seralta to the north, where they were banished for their abuse, or her abuse of the Farron Sapphire and being leader for too long without passing it off. The tale goes that she died out there in the cold, and the coats. The coats aren't part of the tale, but they would have, maybe if she died, then it wouldn't have helped her at all. During the Eris one-shot, you learn that's not true. The reason you talked to her, the group talked to her at the time. I think it was only Eris and Koresh were the original heralds in that group. You talked to Seralta. She was there with that frozen antler on her head. She said that the tale is a farce. She did not take the gem for herself over those many years. She passed it on just as the rest of them did. The thing that they framed her for was that. What actually happened is that she wouldn't go to war with the dragons. The other two did. And she was like, I'm not doing that to these people. So that's why they banished her.
It's like the fucking Living Tribunal. They cast her out.
The original drow were based.
The original drow weren't evil.
Yeah.
So these are like the Sildarine drow then?
Yeah.
Okay.
My people.
And so...
My brand.
She wouldn't go to war with the drow, or the dragons, so that... And what was the last point I wanted to make?
So I guess the question is like, who took the sapphire and who held on to it?
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming that this this person didn't know, because she passed it on to whoever was next. Which our group.
It wasn't her time to. It wasn't her time to lead when the thing even happened.
Right.
So it was in their possession anyways.
Right.
And she was like, I'm not fighting.
Did we figure out the cycle?
No.
Okay.
It's also been thousand something years since then.
Mm-hmm.
So the cycle would have been broken anyways, because these elves are long dead.
Right. No, I guess it's just my question. If Fel was there at the time, would have been if it goes from this to this to this, and then the cycle repeats. If it was on the drow and she passed off the sapphire, who would have been next in line?
Oh, it would have been Thezrin.
The High Elves?
The High Elves.
Which makes a lot more sense.
Does it?
Kind of.
Okay. But that's where we are in season 3 of what you guys know. I think I probably left out a couple details that are going to be important, but I can't remember them at the moment. So that's the recap. Whew. A lot of that was off the cuff.
It's fine.
It took a lot longer than needed, but whatever.
Always does.
Always does. So
I forgot how long
how
season
long was
2
that?
was.
Yeah, season 2.
Season 2 was long.
Season 2 was long,
That
man.
was 3 hours?
Yeah.
It was like.
I mean, we
each
started
session
at like
was 3 to
8:30.
4, like 2.5 to 4 hours, for 70-something fucking episodes, summarized in
It
3
was
hours.
63 episodes of Voros in season 2 and 10 or 11 or 9 in season 1. So that means there was
74.
65 in season 2 to make up 70.
Not including the episodes that we had to cut out due to technical issues.
Yeah, which is a couple of them.
Right. So that's
And
all.
the Eris one shot too.
And the Eris one shots. That's all summarized in 3 hours and almost 3 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
That's a lot of fucking content.
So
Holy
basically,
shit, dude.
what you can expect for season 3 is we're gonna find out more about the elves and the truth
We're
about
back on the
elves.
MSQ.
yeah, and you're gonna find out the truth about the past, the ancient past.
The war.
Oh!
And the fact that there was a detail in the very first season where in the north, near Fort Varunthar, and more north than that, there were there was a war being waged and a plague being spread by elves of the north, the snow orcs. Or sorry, orcs of the north. The snow orcs.
We just eradicate the elves.
Also known as the snorks.
Let's see when we get there.
As a colloquial and sort of derogatory term to call them.
Cute little term.
The only thing people know about them is that they don't follow the same god that the normal orcs do.
They don't follow
Something
Groosh?
changed in their pantheon.
Okay.
No one knows exactly what, because they can't capture a snork without death
worship
coming
Ron.
to them.
Okay.
Ront the Liberator.
Because they are very diseased.
Well, in this new timeline, he's fucking dead.
Well, he's super.
And they're the ones, in theory, everyone thinks about. When they think of that pestilence, that numbness that happened, this disease that caused great strife 30 years ago in the current timeline 400 years later.
Right.
There was this great strife, this great disease, this pestilence. It's called the numbness, where it made your whole body numb to the pain it was experiencing, and your liver and your kidneys and your heart would shut down over time, and you wouldn't even feel it. It was just like your body was all numb all over.
It's Ebola.
It's Ebola. It is all blamed on the Snorks for them.
Is that still the current story of the
Yes.
current time?
Yes.
Okay.
And that is where we will be leaving off for season 3.
Okay.
That's my
War is
favorite.
raging on in the north.
I'm excited. That'll be fun.
I'm in danger.
Want to sign us out?
Alright, guys. I don't know when season 3 actually comes out. I don't know when I'm going to make this a video or not. Whenever. But I hope you enjoy season 3 when it premieres.
It's in
And
the
let's
works.
see if I can make it fun.
Woo! Thumbs up.